Sorry, I was just looking up something. So we obviously finished last time with the party being split. Part of you going up the road to the temple, whilst 3 of you were still in the inn. Obviously, I would hope you can all remember most of the bits that happened in terms of speaking with Balasar, him giving you kind of some additional information and what he was asking you to essentially do of staying kind of local till he gets to speak to the Brotherhood. Then there was obviously Fenton and Quinn going at it again, but other than that,
They just need to get a room already. Release the tension.
The sexual tension.
Yep.
Come here,
What is
girlie.
going on here with all the little teddies?
What the hell is that?
I still want, even though not playing Dota for ages, I still want fucking what's his name? Kit Kat, Finger of Death.
Oh yeah, Lion, yeah.
Lion, yeah.
You can just buy him on eBay.
No, I have to try and find him.
Okay, so what party do you want me to go to first? The guys still in the inn or the guys walking up to the temple?
I think the temple, because I think we resolved where we were really with in the inn for the minute.
Not by a long way, no.
Kind of.
Oh dear.
So we've got Sammy, Belgarian, and Quandra going up to the temple with Balasar at the moment. So effectively, you're kind of out of the inn, and you're essentially kind of turning left to essentially got what is the main road. The main road is kind of a well-made road that's kind of paved. It's more of a muddy kind of cobblestone type of road that's obviously been made but well worn over time. It's not necessarily dirty, it's just muddy from lots of travel. There's obviously lots of travelers come through, carts and everything, horses, that sort of stuff. But the road itself is about 15 feet wide before you start to get some encroaching buildings coming into it a bit. The actual buildings as you start to walk down the road are generally kind of like stone base, first floor kind of stone walls generally with a upper wooden part, and they're generally 2-story kind of buildings on both sides from most of the way down. Every now and again you see kind of like a random sign, potential shop, that sort of thing. Probably it's only a couple of minutes up the road, and as you yeah, so as you kind of go a couple of minutes up the road, this road is essentially the road that Sammy essentially walked all the way in on, as you did you, Belgarian. You both walked in on this road. And as you're kind of passing by lots of the buildings, you can kind of see over to your right as you're kind of getting closer to it. Effectively, a building that sticks out quite a lot. It's a fairly large building, and there's kind of like a large golden kind of dome on top of it, effectively. A big round kind of slight point on top kind of dome. Very golden. You're unsure if it's actually made of gold or not. The actual building itself is kind of all front is kind of white marble,
Right.
and then kind of huge columns are out the front, which kind of it really kind of stands out as a place where it's the town and the sense of the people have obviously either the town itself, you're not sure who, but some wealth has gone into building this place. So this place is definitely a shrine to the gods in that sense. It's a really well made, really nice building. Not particularly with gardens or anything like that. It kind of just sits on the roadside, but very much large large marble, and then kind of a big grand staircase that kind of leads up to essentially a door, kind of big double arch door on the front of it. Which is currently a closed door, but Sammy, you would know that essentially people just kind of go up and open the door and go in. It's generally open of all hours for anyone who kind of wants to go and kind of make peace with their deity, that kind of stuff. So essentially, as you kind of get to here, and what was you doing, Belgarian? You was going to, where was you going?
I was going to ask Balthasar about the
Oh yes. So what did you want to do with him as you're kind of walking to there? What did you want to ask him about?
I say to him, like, does he know about any missing, like any other missing people besides these ones? Basically.
He says, I've heard some things, but not had any concrete information from anyone. No one's specifically shown me someone where, like, I've not been taken to where someone's gone missing or seen anything that necessarily is making me have to jump to attention. No one has specifically told me to go and search for something. Maybe Levi knows some more, considering they're the kind of people who the townsfolk would go and speak to, and then maybe he would pass me down some sort of job. But as of yet, they haven't passed me anything to kind of know. So no one has specifically come to me to tell me that I need to go and find anyone as such. There has been kind of almost not a whisper, but it has come to my attention. So we are on alert to kind of keep an eye out for any strange happenings.
Okay, cool.
Aside from a boat crashing into the shore.
Yeah.
Are we all together at this point?
Yeah, you're with him. You're walking on with him.
Did we get any? Did you get any reason, or how or why the boat crashed? Have you spoke to the captain at all, Captain?
The captain was injured, and I think that he's recovering at the moment. I will be going to speak to him. As far as we can tell, it seems like it was vandalized in some way to crash. Just from first lookings. But if that's all, I wish you a good day, and I'll carry on my journey.
Cool.
Well, thank you very much for your hospitality, and
not a problem. I'll see you around. Maybe for Fenton to buy me more drinks.
Yeah, I'm sure he'll
give him a couple of hours, and I'm sure he'll be well away.
Yeah,
a couple of hours to see if you can pick him up this time rather than me having to pick him up.
I'd just leave him there, put a blanket over him. He'll be fine.
Okay, goodbye.
Bye.
So he leaves, and effectively you're standing there in front of the temple.
So, Belgarian, are you joining us to the temple, or are you making your... Cool.
Okay, we'll make our way into the temple then.
Okay, so you get up to the temple, open the doors, big heavy doors. Effectively,
sorry.
Yeah, so you open the doors, and as you open the doors, you can see inside as you kind of walk in immediately, you can see this huge domed kind of ceiling, and it's kind of mirrored on the inside as such. Gold on the inside, big wooden struts kind of jutting out from the marble up to kind of support it from the inside, but lots of really fancy kind of beam work that essentially makes it look just as nice from the underneath. But you can kind of see that gold part of the dome itself peeking through all the beam work. And then as you kind of look straight ahead, you can essentially see lots and rows of the chairs, the kind of church kind of pews all spread out in front of you, more columns on the inside leaning up, kind of walkways around either side leading down. And as it leads down to the front, you get down, and what you can see is essentially the kind of large kind of decorated shrine down the end. There's kind of candles and stuff kind of lower down, and effectively what you see is a large kind of statue, and then two smaller statues near it. One of them's kind of leaning, one of them's kind of sitting, and then there's a tall kind of one standing. Yet they are featureless entirely. There is no clothes, there is no face, there is no sense of race or anything else. It merely is a humanoid form, but very kind of bland on purpose, kind of rounded, kind of figure, almost like something that's been left out in the kind of to be weathered to the point of erosion where everything erodes away. That's what it actually looks like, but it kind of looks like it's been purposely put there. And again, there's one kneeling on the right hand side and one essentially sitting, kind of legs kind of out from the side of them. And again, same thing in them, completely featureless, no sense of what the specifics of them are. And that seems to be the shrine. It's almost triangular in composition of what you can see, and then loads of candles around the bottom, and then different kind of flower pots and other things around the bottom. As you walk in, immediately you can kind of get a sense of the it's very airy inside, lots of windows kind of from higher up, from below the point of the roof of the dome, and you can smell kind of like an immediate kind of rose sort of sense of essence, of incense as you walk in. So you walk in, and down the end, just in front of where the large figures are, you can see a robed kind of figure.
I always feel at home here. You know, it reminds me of myself.
Okay.
Golden.
Well,
I'm a bit confused about it.
Humanoid, but you know, I'm not
Quite there yet.
I'm not the same as you know. There's elves, there's dwarves, there's humans, halflings, but I'm not any of you. You know, and so yeah, when I come into the temple, I do feel a little bit more of a sense of belonging, as it were. Brad,
Yes.
would they have a title in here like father or cleric or reverend?
Reverend
Teacher.
Green.
Probably,
Mister. In the temple
waiting for
with the
that.
dagger.
yeah, it would probably be father.
Okay, so as we walk down, I'll call out father.
As you say that, the kind of the hooded figure at the front turns around, and as they do, she pulls down the hood and says, "Mother, actually, my name is
My
Betu.
apologies.
Welcome to the house of the Lumisars."
Hello.
Hello, nice to meet you.
Hello, mother. We come with some grave tidings. I'm sure you heard about the crash of the boat on the docks.
Oh yes, we certainly did. I think most of the town has heard that news already.
Yes, well, we myself and my colleagues here, my friends here, we followed after. I don't know if you heard about the mass of rats.
Yes, that was
swarmed from the
definitely
ship.
heard of that as well.
Well, we followed after the rats because they carried off a few bodies, and we were able to save 3 of the people, but a 4th one was beyond saving, and I have him here in my bag, and as we have no way of identifying him, we was thought this was the best place to bring him.
Okay. She gestures over to kind of like an area of the floor. The front pews are essentially, there's at least a 10-12 kind of foot gap in between that and the kind of front parts of where the candles and the step up for the shrine actually is. She kind of gestures over to a point and goes, "Just lay him out there, and I will help start his journey into rest."
Thank you, mother. And with that, I reach into the little pouch on the side there and proceed to pull out this big body out of the side.
Need help with that?
No, I'm okay. Not a problem. And I gently put the body down.
Okay, so you start laying down, and as you do, she's immediately says words that you don't understand in a kind of language, and then she starts doing what you would assume seeing others do. Condra, you definitely know it. She's definitely casting some sort of spell.
Mm-hmm.
And the body just seems to where you kind of take it out, your hands are bloody effectively, and you kind of put it on the floor, and you can see it kind of touches the floor, and the blood kind of, it's not oozing out, but essentially it's you know it's going to mark the floor where it kind of is. And then after she's kind of essentially said some words, waved her hands around, then she kind of leans down and kind of touches the body. She just kind of goes silent for a bit, as if she's thinking. And then she stands up and says, he will rest peacefully. Thank you for bringing him here.
Cool.
No worries, ma'am.
Mother, may I ask a question?
Certainly.
Was this temple built around the statues, or were the statues built separately? It just seems a bit strange that the temple is nice, sparkling marble, and the statues just seem to be old and ancient.
I'd say you have a keen eye, lady. Yes, the temple was raised around the shrine itself. The shrine is kept clean, but yes, this shrine has been here far longer than the temple itself has.
Right. And was it always a Luminar, or do you know if it was different before?
Well, we believe that the shrine itself may have been created in this exact what you see. The Luminars themselves are many, and they don't really have a humanoid form. The humanoid form they present here to us is more so for us than them.
Right.
It represents them, but not directly.
Okay. Thank you. That just seemed really strange that you had a lovely, clean temple and very withered statues. Thank you for that.
Indeed, is the definitely people have asked about it in the past. But the Lumitars are a force of the world that have been here for so long. So
Mhm.
the statue itself probably is still far newer than they are.
Yeah, I have read about the Luminars. I've just never been in a temple before, so it makes a nice change to actually see something that I've read about.
There are a few different temples in the larger towns of Roscoe.
Okay, thank you. What's the plan now, guys? Are we going to go and meet the others?
Mother.
Yes.
I was bitten by one of those rat things that turned human afterwards, and I'm a little bit concerned.
Yes. Could lead to a problem. Who else have you spoken to? Is there anyone else helping you?
No.
Not really.
You haven't spoken to anyone, have you?
Nah.
I was also bitten.
A couple of us were bitten, or a few of us were bitten.
Us three.
I was bitten, but it would take something fairly extraordinary to infect me, to be totally honest with you.
Like a Fenton.
I think I recall from my knowledge that I did tell you what you need to potentially remove it, potentially.
No, you don't know what it is.
Or try to.
Yeah, I think you kind of explained some.
Yeah.
You don't know the specifics of it.
And I think I said something like, I'm not at that level yet to be able to cast that.
Do you have any more crystals? All the others too. Do you have any more crystals? No.
Okay, so again, you see her. She says, "Just hold still for me," and she puts her
Okay.
hand up in front of your face, and then just starts waving her hand, and again speaking in a language you don't know. And then she looks up and says, "Yeah, the news isn't so good. There's definitely something affecting you, but that something is not something I can tell what it is. But be wary.
Okay.
It's not something I don't think I can do. Maybe get in touch with the Brotherhood. They are definitely more involved in this, especially in regards to more supernatural beings. They definitely would be. If there's a problem, try to come back to me, and I may be able to help alleviate in some way. But I don't know if it's something I can specifically affect."
Okay. Thank you.
Mother, I was also bitten. Does it affect races in different ways?
She does the same thing to you. And she goes, "No, I fear you are also affected by it."
Right.
So same thing again. If there's anything that comes up, if you notice anything different, if something seems strange, then come back to me and I'll see what I can do to kind of ward off whatever potential evil it is. But even with my own detection, I can't tell the specifics of what it is, which tells me it's not standard.
Right,
Okay,
thank you very much.
The Brotherhood would probably be your people to speak to.
Okay, thank you.
Sorry, Mother, to be a pain. Could you
No,
also
that
check
door's always open.
just in case? Could you also check for me? I
could,
don't
of
think
course.
it could affect me, but
So she does the same thing. And she just kind of looks at you a bit odd. And kind of goes, "No, I think you're fine.
I'm fine. Yeah.
I think you're fine."
I'm fine.
But nevertheless, do also be wary.
Yes.
Just
No
in case.
worries.
I cannot detect it in you, but because it's something that is evading my detection, it makes me wary.
No worries, man.
But as I said, we're open day or night, and if I'm not here, there will be other attendants here to be able to help. And if something is urgent, then they could always request me. We're always here to help.
Okay,
thank
thank
you,
you very
Mother.
much.
Thank you, Mother.
We'll leave you to your.
And she says, and just in case if you need to in future, if you need to ask me specifically, my name is Bessoon.
Bessoon.
How do you spell that?
Vessoon.
On the way out, Brad, I'm gonna put 10 gold in the charity box.
Cool. Okay. She kind of turns around and doesn't really look. She kind of goes back to what she was doing. She seems to be kind of talking to no one.
I would
Well-
do that, but I haven't got quite the money to do that yet.
I don't even know how much. I don't even know how much I've got. Where do I find that? Let's have a look.
You've got it at the top of your. When you go to your inventory, you've got it just on the top right hand of that box.
Yes.
It's a funny.
Looks like
hourglass.
Yeah.
Yes, I can. I can see that.
An hourglass,
Gold coin.
an hourglass is
Yep.
an electrum piece. That's what an electrum looks like.
Yeah.
Is it?
Yeah. I don't know where it is. It's somewhere in the picture of them.
I've got that as gold piece.
That's gold. Yeah.
That's gold.
Oh no, that is gold. Yeah, yeah. And the electrum's the round one. There it is.
Yeah.
That's what the coins look like.
Mm-hmm.
Effectively, I could say.
Otherwise, I've been giving away extra. No, I've been.
So, as we walk out, I'm going to say to Sammy and Bulgarian, I'd like to go back to the inn, and then hopefully try and find out where we can find the Brotherhood.
Oh, we'll ask Balthasar. We'll ask
That's where he
Balthasar when he
was
comes back.
when he
Yeah,
left you.
yeah,
Mhm.
we'll ask him Balthasar.
So, do you think we should head back to the
Mother,
inn?
what was her name? Sorry,
Mother
Brad?
Besson.
Bessoon.
Bessoon.
Besson.
VESSON.
Oh, V.
B for brother.
V. No, not B. V.
V. Vessoon.
Vector.
Vesson. Vessoon.
Vesson.
Vessoon.
Okay. Well, yeah. I mean, I'm happy to head back to the inn now. I've done what I needed to do here.
Mm-hmm.
Cool.
And make a somber way back to the inn.
Okay, jumping over to the other three, what are you guys doing while these guys are off? You've probably got 20, 30 minutes. Any of you want to do anything specific on the other side?
Rousing songs.
Is that a request?
Brad?
No, that's what I'm singing. Roll me over in the clover. Roll me over, lay me down and do it again. Chink, chink.
We're at that point. Okay.
Come on, Birdie.
Is he already that pissed, is he?
Come on, Birdie, sing along. Have we lost Brad or have I lost everyone else?
No.
Oh no, there was a little glitch.
There was a little freeze there, yeah.
Glitch in the Matrix. Coming out December 22nd, Matrix. Go and watch it. Hashtag at the cinema.
You got a list there, Stuart?
I've got to go through my sponsors list.
You should know what he does at work now.
YouTuber. 10 views a time.
Professional YouTuber. I think you need to use the word professional in front of YouTuber.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, nothing really. Unless the others have got anything. I just I do in the middle of a song, I kind of stop and go, hold on, didn't you say something about? I'm pointing at I've forgotten what Chris's bird's called. Birdie.
Leonardo.
That's it. Birdie, Leo. You said something, or rather, Quinn said something on your behalf about needing a party. What was that for? And then before they start to talk anything, and I've got up and gone go get some more ale. Roll me over in the clover. Drinks. I'm pointing at Quinn. I'd like to go back up to the bar.
I'd telepathic to Quinn and just say maybe it's best to have this conversation. We do this conversation in the morning. Yeah. I don't think it's a good idea to have it. He's probably end up forgetting.
Yeah.
That's if we're obviously still around and still doing stuff together. But I think it's best we're just waiting till the morning.
Yeah, I imagine that's a good idea.
Yeah, I think that's a good idea. Anyway, let him buy the drinks tonight. Sounds good to me. I'll sit there waiting for my drink to arrive, Brad.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I've got Leo. You know that the yard of ale. So because there's that little mechanical bird that drinks out of a thing, doesn't it? You tap it and the bird drinks.
Yep.
Oh. All right. Yeah, I can go with that.
It's the timer.
Where did you find that?
Yeah.
I don't know. It's like something really old. Is it like an old 70s thing? I don't know what it was, but it's like there's a little mechanical bird that has like a thermometer type or a yard. It's called a yard of ale. It's that like long glass with a bowl at the end of it.
Oh yeah, I know that.
Yeah. But
I
then
don't know
you
about the
tap
bird,
it and the bird rocks backwards and forwards and drinks out of the yard of ale thing.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I've got a yard of ale. And I think me and Quinn were on rums. I think was or brandy chasers or whatever.
Is it quite late, Brad?
No, it's only about getting on to about 4 in the afternoon.
Jeez.
It's going to be a long one.
Is there any sort of dodginess going around within the bar, within the tavern? I'll just scour the room basically, just having a look around. Just scanning the room, so there's any sort of shiftiness.
No, it's fairly calm as a place, in as much as there's a lot of noise from people talking and stuff like that, but it isn't a rowdy place. There's not people kind of getting
Apart
rowdy.
from around me.
There's no sort of.
It definitely seems to be the most rowdiest right now, being that loud. But most people seem to be really finely dressed for the most part. It's not your typical kind of sailory kind of people singing. There is kind of like the small ambience of music coming from the stringed instruments on the small stage. But for the most part, there's not really kind of people sitting on their own looking ominous and things like that. Most people are in either pairs or groups. Most people are chatting. Generally, people for the most part. It's not a kind of weird mood as such. It seems like quite a nice place to be in.
Also, just sorry, Brad. Also, just to say that I'm not just pissed on what I've been drinking now. I've been getting more brandy chasers and shots and stuff. So it's not just everyone's all had 3 drinks each. I've in the same time I've been getting more and more shots and more chasers and stuff, and a pint with a chaser and all that lot. So it's
You're just trying to prove you're not a lightweight.
No, that's not it at all. But it might seem like that, but that's not it at all. But yeah, I've been.
That's you run you up about 4 gold, sure.
Yeah, I know. You might as well just take everything I've got, Brad.
Fenton's aim is to completely make himself poor before he actually gets off to anything.
Oh dear.
I'm still, yeah.
So he's up at the bar, Leonidas and Quinn. You see him; he's kind of wobbled off dancing and singing. And
So what I will say to Quinn though is that what I was discussing earlier, it would be very helpful if you and Fenton was involved for me to achieve what I was going to discuss earlier. I'll just put that in your mind. So
yeah, maybe we should discuss it tomorrow at breakfast.
Yeah, for sure. Let's just enjoy.
Yeah. Right, where are those drinks then?
He comes rolling back over with them.
Literally.
There you go, lads.
Not literally.
I was going to say that'd be impressive.
Definitely wobbling, but not quite. It seems like when you met him, he's about that stage again.
Okay.
Right. If I don't need to do any components, I'm going to cast Detect Faults on Fenton when he comes back.
Okay. What are you specifically trying to figure, as it were? What are you trying to see? What, just in general?
I sort of wanted to do it after he had that sort of debate with Quinn, but just to see his sort of mood and how he feels. I know he's obviously jolly and happy, but just to go dig a little bit deeper.
Yeah.
Brad, I'll text you.
Okay, cool.
He doesn't notice, Brad.
Well, you
I
can
don't
go
need to use verbal somatics. I don't need to do anything at all.
Well, he's got a bar, so he probably wouldn't notice. Is it touch?
Yeah.
Distance.
Normally it's like on yourself.
It's on myself. It's on me. Yeah.
Detect faults.
Yep.
Level 2 spell.
Correct.
What have you got?
That's feet, Brad.
Yeah.
Once a day, long rest.
Let me quickly read that then, just to check that.
Sure.
So are you casting this on yourself?
Yeah.
Okay.
And I'm focusing on Fenton.
So are you casting it just to detect the kind of surface of what he's thinking, or are you going to kind of carry on?
For the moment, just a surface.
On you immediately kind of detecting on the surface, you just get the lyrics to him singing, which you can sing against you if you like.
Roll me over in the clover. Lay me down and do it again.
He seems focused on that. They seem to be surface faults.
Okay, I'm gonna dig deeper and see if I can tap into his emotional state.
Okay,
or
so
something that looms largely in his mind.
Yeah, so you're kind of there, and he's kind of walked over to the bar. He's there ordering drinks, still kind of singing. You can still hear him singing. As you start to tune in, you essentially cast a spell, and
if it has to be a whisper, we can go in the other room. He's got a roll. If it's a wisdom saving throw as well, if I want to dig any deeper, Fenton has to roll. Otherwise, he knows I've done it.
Quinn is going to see you doing it.
Quinn won't see me doing it because I don't need no components to do it. No somatic, no verbal, no nothing because of the feat what it says on it.
Yeah.
Okay. Used.
So effectively, you're just kind of to Quinn. You pretty much just look like you're doing what you normally do, which is just staring around, kind of thing.
Yeah.
So you're kind of staring more over towards Fenton. Quinn, you don't really pick anything up from this. And what was the save?
So 13.
Oh, it's a wisdom save, is it?
Wisdom save, yeah, Stu. Yeah. Because I want to dig a little bit deeper.
I failed.
Okay.
It's a 12.
So
I've rolled a 13, but it's a 12. I've got -1.
Okay. So
you say the
for
DC
that,
was 13?
13, yeah.
Yeah, I failed it.
Okay. So if it fails, you gain insight into its reasoning, if any, its emotional states, and something that looms largely in his mind, in its minds. So I'm digging deeper past the singing. If there is something special, I wouldn't want to share it with everyone. So
yeah,
maybe
take him into another room. Do you need anything else from me, Brad?
With that, essentially, there is another part to the spell, Stuart. You can read it if you want, but that second part specifically is not kicking off now. So, obviously, you're doing that, Leonidas, and you've obviously got some information, or you've kind of you feel like that's kind of giving you information in that sense.
Yeah. Once I get that information, Brad, I'm gonna obviously drop concentration on that.
Oh, okay, cool. Okay.
So you can still, I think you can still. He does an intelligence check, doesn't he?
No, that's the part. That's what I'm saying. That's the second part I'm not going to do right now.
Okay,
he's too into drinking and singing, and he's not compass mentis enough to know that you've just done that. He may do come later.
Yeah.
Something may twig, but not right now.
Okay. I'm not going to get blamed for it anyway. No, joking. He would know who it is.
I'm going to be far away from the aftermath once he realises what's going on.
Going to point Quinn.
Yeah, you guys come back.
There's a big feathery pointing.
Yeah, Quinn and Fenton just fighting it out in the middle of this lavish, lovely inn, and the cause of the situation innocently standing aside, going,
shrugging his big wings,
grooming himself, plucking feathers.
Just to note, he doesn't actually have wings. He has feathered arms, but not actual wings. The wings are gone. Essentially, he looks like a raven without wings.
Flying without wings.
Or not as a case, maybe.
Yes.
Yeah.
He's kind of got feathery things that look like almost fin kind of wings, as it were, but they're not full wings.
Right, okay.
Kenku don't have full wings.
Anyway.
Yes, so you've just been getting your drinks, spending your gold. Quinn, anything from you? You just sitting there? What's going on with you?
Yeah, I think I'm just sitting here drinking. I want to keep an eye out. Has anyone noticed me or looking at me?
You're definitely getting some weird glances. You're definitely dressed in such a way around kind of town and stuff like that. Most people have there's a lot of colours in terms of what people wear, but it's definitely something that stands you out apart from other people. The colours, the
pink hair.
Yeah, the hair, the pasteliness of the colours, the kind of colours you're wearing are definitely different to what other people, and in some of the different things that adorn you as such, jewellery and different bits like that, they're obviously very different from what other people have got. So that's an obvious kind of slightly standing out sort of thing. And people do turn and essentially kind of look at you, but no one's specifically staring or anything like that. You're not feeling creeped out by other people, but you're definitely noticing people are noticing you.
Right. Yeah. I mean, I just ignore that then.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's nothing to get your back up, Pat. You're kind of slightly used to it in a sense, so yeah, you don't feel it's out of place or such.
I still keep an eye out as I'm sitting here, kind of just anyone specifically
I
staring.
would say in that regard, pointing that out again. So Leonidas, it means nothing to you because these are all very new characters. They're all colourful and everything else. Everything is kind of new to you. But Fenton, Quinn definitely stands out, not as a local in any sense. From you are aware and have been across the Great Trade Divide to the Balfour Highlands. You have knowledge of over there, and you also don't really recognise it from over there either.
What do you mean? The clothes that Quinn is wearing, or the
it's a very long military type coat that's
not navy inspired or military inspired.
Yes, it's got the same kind of, it's got some same cuts as of how it's been made, but it's definitely not one of those. You can see, you doubt it's one of those. It is more dressy type thing, but it's not really one of those in particular.
Could it be like when military go to balls and stuff like that, where they
you get a sense of that, but at the same time, the colours and some of the different things like jewellery and other pieces that they've got on them essentially stand out as being not from these two lands that you know of. So it's definitely something further afield than you know.
More like exotic, I think.
Say that again?
My accessories.
Yeah, the accessories make it more. So the actual outfit and everything is definitely not the usual colours you'd see. Military outfits are normally kind of black, grey, red, blue. This is a very, what colour would you say it's had?
It is like a bluey green.
No, but I mean like royal blue, like a very typical blue. Yours is more like a muted sea turquoisey type blue, isn't it?
Yeah, that's more like it. Yeah.
Like a darker turquoisey sort of colour.
Yeah.
So the kind of colouring of it, as well as the different kind of adornments they have, that they essentially have. They have what are some of the other things you kind of have?
I've got my
pieces and stuff like that.
My spell book is my book is like adorned with seashells. And my daggers aren't like just standard daggers. They kind of look a bit different.
You can also notice, Fenton, that they've got essentially what looks like extra holsters all over the place as well, kind of somewhat hidden.
Yeah, and like my daggers aren't just like standard dagger. Like it'd be like a Chris dagger or like different kind of.
So there's a very odd exoticness to Quinn that only now, as you're drinking, kind of just being merry and everything, you just keep picking up on different things and going, okay. But it's definitely standing out as a very different look to the two main lands that you know.
When I pass over the drinks and stuff, I was like, Quinn, your coat says military, but those weapons kind of say hunter, bounty hunter, mercenary. Is that anything? Is that been your line of work?
No.
Good talking. I'll go and get another round.
Fenton's just got this like awkward, what am I doing? I'm just going to keep buying drinks. And Quinn is sitting there, but even Leonidas is sitting there kind of randomly doing stuff, looking around.
I go to the bar with Fenton.
Okay.
I'm going to go to the bar with Fenton.
Okay. So by this point, all the rest of the other three of you are now kind of coming back to the inn, essentially.
Cool. Are we just in time for a round?
I'm looking in my purse. I don't think so.
I supplied Fenton some cash.
Okay.
Oh, hold on! I just found some more money. Thanks, Ferdy. Yeah, what do you want? What do you want? Come here.
How much do you slide in, Leonidas?
5 gold.
Okay.
I'll take it off now. But I do it so no one sees, so I'm going to do it so like...
You'll do it so no one sees, and I don't see it either.
Yeah, it goes on the floor.
Oh, look, just found 5 gold.
I want to roll a dice. Sleight of hand. Where is it?
You're going to
Yeah, Brad.
advantage because they're further away from you.
Advantage, yeah?
Yeah.
Your camera's off, mate.
Oh, is it?
Which one are you?
My apologies.
I can't tell because I'm always like, which one is who? Oh, yeah, there you go.
I've just rolled.
Okay. What you got?
Both of them are 15, so that would be 18 in total.
Yeah, no, nice and easily. So you kind of skirt over, and as you do, you kind of just slightly flick it like that, and then put your arm on the counter, and it kind of flicks over to the Fenton, who's just like, oh, okay.
A thumbs up.
So I'm trying to make him. I'm trying to make him look good, basically.
He thinks he's just dropped his money on the counter. And like,
Oh right, okay. So I don't even notice it's come from. Actually, yeah, my perception is so shit.
You didn't even notice it come from Leonidas. You just
Okay.
looked and just like, oh, I've got it.
All right then.
Well, after what I've just heard, I'd like
that's 5 gold to you, Fenton, but take off 2 gold, 2 gold, 5 silver. So half of that you get.
Okay, all right.
And that's what the round costs. You can imagine that the costs now that you're seeing them, you must wonder how much you've spent in here.
Fortune.
You now start to think to yourself, and that definitely your funds are starting to run a bit dry, considering you've been here for a while.
Oh yeah, I know that. I know that basically. I come here like once every. Basically, I'm normally in one of the poor pubs. Any of the odd jobs and stuff that I've done that I need to do to continue my drinking, I then earn a bit of gold. I come in here. Normally, I cause trouble, then get asked to leave, and go back to the other pubs until I think my penance is done, and then come back again. That's been my routine for the last couple of months. So earn a little bit of gold by doing whatever needs to be done on the docks, and then promptly spend it in one of the bars. And this one, yeah, I come every now and again.
I'd imagine that's not too hard a deal. People kind of do know you as such in that sort of sense. So is there anything else any of you other guys want to do? Walking back in? You're walking into a scene of Fenton, definitely cheery singing. You can hear it as you walk in the door and immediately go, oh, that's him.
I'm dancing along to it, Brad.
I look at Bulgarian and Sammy, say, do we spoil his happy time or do we wait till tomorrow?
Did he get bit?
He didn't get bit, I don't think.
Nah, don't worry about him.
Was it all bit of bite was needed?
Well.
Come on, everyone. Roll me over in the clover. Roll me over, lay me down, and do it again. And then I collapse on the floor.
As you guys walk in, you can notice other people see him and just kind of look at him and go, and just go almost like a nod of recognition and just turn away and carry on.
The usual.
Is there lively music or is it just Fenton?
It's not lively. There is music as a kind of string.
It's like classicals. As the Titanic's going down.
Yeah, it's not quite that.
4-string quartet going on at the background.
So what's anyone doing? Anyone doing anything?
Well, I'm going to take a seat and have a large whiskey.
Okay. That's probably what will come over to you. So you're gonna just kind of wait in here, having some more drinks, waiting for what are you kind of waiting for as such?
I'm just gonna relax for a little bit, listen to the music, enjoy the ambience. And after a suitable amount of time, I shall go retire to a room.
The organised rooms yet? I say to Quinn.
I say to DM, I think so, right?
No.
No?
I'll go and find.
Drink and
a
food.
room.
Sammy, do you think you could ask if they got any available rooms, please?
Certainly, ma'am, not a problem. I'll go and find Morley.
Yep, Morley's at kind of like the side of the counter, essentially, kind of arms on the counter, just cleaning some glasses.
Evening,
Sammy,
Morley.
I see you back.
Yes.
Is business good?
It was until the boat I was expecting to do business with crashed on the on the docks.
I would have thought that would have brought you more business. There's a whole boat to fix.
Possibly. But I won't know about that until the morning. Until then, do you have any rooms free?
We do. We have a few at the moment. How many are you looking
Well,
for?
I definitely need one.
How much
Yeah.
are the rooms first? Please.
How much are the rooms, Morley?
Give DM a second. There'll be 8 silver a night per room.
Yep,
Rooms
that's fine.
generally have 2 to 3 beds. Kind of normally 2 beds or a double or some sort of third bed that's like some sort of chaise long or sofa or something like that.
And is it a separate bathroom or?
No, it's a bathroom. Each room, essentially, you're going to assume. Sammy will tell you this. Sammy will essentially tell you that each room kind of has wash facilities, kind of like
Right, that's fine.
a basin type thing, not a full bath and that, but down kind of like the end of one of the halls, there is essentially like a room that is like not quite bathhouse, but small bathhouse in the sense there's like 3 baths in there, some different things for kind of washing and stuff like that. So kind of separate bathroom, wash things on site.
Back to the group then. Morley says he's got a few rooms spare. So are we wanting a room? You know, they're 8 silver each. You wanting rooms separately or?
I would like
I'll
my
take
own
my own
room,
room.
please.
Perhaps
I'm
one room.
fussed.
Were you happy to show me, Gildan? Literally, I'm gonna plot up in the corner and just deactivate for a few
Belgarian.
hours.
Yeah, who's Gildan?
Bulgarian, sorry.
Monk
Yeah.
Monk Gildan.
with your special mind there, Sammy.
Yeah. Sorry. So Bulgarian, yeah. So we we'll go halves in a room then.
Okay.
You want Quandary, you wanted a room by yourself, yeah?
Yes, please.
Quill?
Fancy jacking up.
Quill, did you say you wanted a room?
I'd like my own room.
Your own room? Leo, would you like a room?
Yeah, how many rooms we got? Did you say?
He's got loads of rooms. So at the moment, I'm sharing a room with Belgaren. Quandra's having a room on her own. Quill's having a room on her own.
Quinn.
Quinn is having a room on her own.
I'm with Fenton then, if he doesn't show any resistance.
You're what?
Fenton, I'm joking.
I think Fenton's got his own boat that he's going to be going to sleep in.
Yeah, I'll go with him.
You're going to go with Fenton to his
Yeah.
boat?
Yeah.
Oh, what?
Are we having this discussion out loud?
Well, he's asleep.
Well, you pulled a bird.
So discuss
He's
away.
not past that. He's singing on the floor. He's just kind of. He's drinking hand.
You
All
can
right.
sleep on my boat, Birdie.
All right.
Yep.
I'll tell you what.
I'll nod.
I'll let Morley know. And Leo, do you think we should take Fenton back to the boat now before?
Yeah.
Well,
I'd say yeah.
Yeah. All right.
Well, we have 2 to go. 2 go, 4 go. 4 go, barman.
I empty a water skin, Brad.
See you tomorrow, Fenton.
4 go.
Bye.
Barman and Fenton.
All right.
We're going to sort of meander back to his boat and try and stop him from drowning.
Hey, this is my boat. I point to a massive. I point to the boat that they all just come off of. This is my boat. Yeah, this is my boat.
He's pointing to the shore.
The shore breaker is your boat, is it, Fenton?
Yeah. It's my other boat.
It's your other boat.
Where's your other boat, though?
Oh, it's down here.
All right, let's go to your other boat first.
All right.
We'll leave this one to get patched up. Don't want to go in case it sinks, innit?
Is it just a rowing boat or something? Or
It's not a rowing boat.
So you guys essentially get down to the bottom and you can see what is essentially the boat itself is about 45 foot long. It's a fairly big boat. And on the front deck you can see what is essentially I'm sure I said it.
You sent me a picture. I don't know where you put it though.
Yeah, no, I've got it here. I'm just going to put it. Yeah, no, it's there. Okay, so as you walk up, you can see obviously the long nose part of the ship kind of sticking out, kind of not quite to the jetty kind of thing, but sticking out its part slightly back. One large mast in the middle. You can see like a raised kind of front deck where there is essentially like a large ballista on the front of the ship itself, just kind of angled slightly down. And then there's a kind of a probably about 20 foot or so deck area, and then there's a raised part at the back essentially with some stairs kind of leading up to the sides, and you can see that there's a door that leads into some sort of inner cabin on that raised part.
Cool.
All right, we'll guide him in.
Thank you.
Okay, so you kind of get him to the door essentially, and he's just like, "Yep, there's me."
what's it look like in there?
You gonna be all right?
Yeah.
All right, I'll leave him to it now and go back to the.
Okay,
Come on,
so
birdie.
you-
I've got a drink. I've got a bottle under here.
I cast light on the cowboy hat.
Oh yeah. Zoom.
As I'm leaving, I say, Fenton,
All right.
remember number 10, and we're gonna start it again.
Yeah. It's the number 1, and the fun has just begun. Roll me over, lay me down,
And do it again.
and do it again.
When I whistle off slowly to the to the song.
Yeah. So you disappear off, and as you do, Leonidas, you're essentially kind of jostling in the door with him. He's still whooey, and as you kind of jostle him in the door, you kind of walk in, and the cabin's a fairly nice cabin. You look over on the right, and there's actually kind of an actual bed with a bit of a kind of row piece of kind of wood, essentially you'd imagine, so you don't fall out when you're out at sea, kind of thing, or the waves are kind of jostling the boat around. Ahead of you is kind of like a table and some chairs. You can see some small lanterns that are around. One of them is still lit. That seems to be almost as if it's like a slow, dim light that essentially is left on, so you can see once he comes in, probably not banging his head again as he quite often probably does. And then around that you can see scattered some boxes, some different things around. But just as a quick look, that's roughly what you see. Hello.
Hello.
So there's no
Is
cans
it
on the
me
floor or anything like that.
looking for?
No, it seems to be relatively clear. There's some bottles on the table, that kind of thing, but not.
I'm not there, so.
There's nice kind of windows with kind of the LED kind of in the back, kind of lots of small windows on the back, and then a couple of kind of porthole windows on each side.
LED lighting, LED lighting.
RGB.
Yeah, I've got RGB lighting around the around my bed.
What does these cabin look like, Brad?
Yeah, that's essentially what it looks like. It looks fairly
Tidy-ish. It's not full of sick and empty bottles.
Yeah, surprisingly, it's not. It's not. Considering you're so drunk, you kind of imagined that it might be a bit worse, but it looked fairly okay.
Okay. I just want to perch somewhere and go to sleep.
Yeah, there's a couple of chairs in there. No other beds. He kind of flops down on the bed. There's essentially a couple of chairs. There's a kind of mat on the floor.
That'll do. That'll do.
But still, as I said, 2 chairs up by the table, essentially.
Yeah.
Kind of fall asleep.
So I'll get my bedroll out.
Okay, yeah.
And I'll start organising everything and start putting everything in its place.
Yeah.
So I'll get the 3 rats that I've got, take them off the spear and put them nice and neatly around and just really tidily put my sort of backpack down and my weapons. So it's all nice and neat and tidy before I get into...
Almost like a ritual.
Basically, yeah.
Bedtime ritual.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
And everything's in order and everything's got its place.
Yeah. Fenton just kind of flops on the bed.
Yeah, I'll leave him to it. He's done.
You kind of presume that this seems quite common for him. So either way, if he wakes up in a terrible cold state or something, it's probably just Fenton.
Yeah, I just hopefully he's not that drunk. He's going to piss on me.
No. I'm an experienced pro.
You can hold it.
Yeah.
Okay, so the rest of you 4 are paying 8 silver, Bulgarian and Sammy, you're paying 4 silver. So Quinn and Condra, 8 silver. So the rooms that you get to are really nicely kind of laid out as such. So you come in there and immediately you notice there is this kind of wash area, and then on the rooms are slightly different each one, but generally the beds look like nice size, kind of well made, kind of really nice kind of linen blankets and stuff. As I said, there's the kind of wash area as well, which is kind of like a large kind of bowl. There's like a side with sponges and lots of rags and towels and stuff like that on it. And then there's also like a long kind of either like a chaise longue or a chair, essentially like a double settee type thing, effectively, that's in there as well, which, as I said, is kind of like for a potential third person. And then there's kind of like a small desk and a chair. That's what all the rooms are decorated like.
Okay.
Yeah. I'm going to get an early night.
Yeah, I was going to say, is there anything anyone wants to do before going to sleep? It's probably now, after all that, I'd say probably 8, 9 o'clock.
Yeah, before I go, sorry, I'm taking quite a lot up here. I'm going to try... See if he's not register. He's kind of conscious. No, that's it. I'm done. Sorry. No, I'm done.
Brad, you said I needed to do something with intelligence or something. Is that now or is that later or
not
is
now,
that something?
Not now.
Okay.
So, anyone want to do anything before bed?
No, I'm gonna make my leave and make my way to my room.
Yeah. Early night.
Okay,
How do I take money off?
So in thingy in D&D Beyond.
Yes, click it. So
yeah, so if you click on there, it should say add or remove.
So I'm removing 8 silver. Yeah.
Yeah, so add in 8 silver and click remove. That should take it off. What it should do is take the gold down to 29 and add 2 silver. Effectively, is what it should do. No,
just do the silver.
Cannot set currency to negative value.
Hold on, let me see.
Got the arrows. When you click on the silver.
Yeah, I know.
Okay, cool.
I'm doing that. I've got 8.
Yeah, maybe it doesn't allow you to do negative like that.
Remove. No, it won't let me do it.
Okay, so what
you have to take 1 gold off and add 2 silver.
Yeah.
How do you change that? Oh no, you can do it. You can click on the actual gold. So where it says your amount of gold, you can click on it and then click that down. And then if you click it down, you're essentially adding 2 silver as change. Yeah. So take 1 gold.
So put it down to 9 gold, yeah?
Yeah, and then add 2 silver on. So click in the actual number values.
9 and 2 silver, yeah?
Hmm. I would imagine.
There you go. I think that's it.
I'll find out later and see if that works how I think it should work. But for now, as long as you've got it, that's cool.
9 gold, 2 silver.
Yep, that's cool. And someone had that bag of money as well somewhere as well.
Quinn has.
Okay, cool. So yeah, you'll pretty much go to rest. Belgarian, as you're kind of prepping the bed, you're kind of looking around for where Sammy's going to go, and Sammy just goes and sits on a chair, looks around, and then just kind of stares at the door, and then just doesn't seem to change. Just seems to go completely still and just stares towards the door.
The eye, you know, my line, my red line, it slightly dims down as well, mate. So
yeah, I imagine, but it doesn't
Night
go.
Rider.
Yeah.
Wum wum, wum wum.
That's my when I get a text message, that's my sound.
Dun, dun, diddle, 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 diddle.
So you all managed to sleep. Most of you have had a really good night's sleep. Leonidas, it's your usual kind of sleep. You're happy enough with that. Phantom, you're definitely waking up. Oh, again, almost reminiscent of the day before. You're waking up like, it's another one of them mornings. You wake up a little bit fresher than you did last time. You probably assume that you was probably drinking a bit more last time than you was this time. You had less time given that you was at activities of
was
the
actually
day.
fighting for a couple of hours rather than just drinking for those extra hours.
Yeah, so you kind of wore some of that off. But as you wake up, you're coming round, you're like, okay. And as you're sitting there, it kind of comes to you at that point when you're like, so now I want you to roll. Now I want you to roll for the second part of the spell.
It's intelligence.
Yeah.
Intelligence save, is it?
Check.
What does that mean? It's the same difference, isn't it?
No.
Oh no, it's not, is it? Well, it is for me. It's the same.
So you make an intelligence check, Stuart, and Chris, you also make one. So effectively, just roll your 20 and add your intelligence.
Mm-hmm.
You go first, Chris.
Yeah.
No light.
Oh, no light. Oh, the fucking rolled it.
You're not on. You're not on, Chris.
Oh, no. I just rolled it.
Okay.
Yep. Do you want to know what mine is?
Yeah, go on. What's yours? We know what the save is.
Intelligence is. Oh my god. Wow. Okay, 18. It's just a straight 18.
Okay.
4.
Not looking good.
Was that the same 5 that you got last time?
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah. Fucking dice. Come on, you cunts. Roll better.
Effectively, you do know it has happened. It does say that you do recognise that it's happened, but I merely pushed it back so that you didn't know it was happening at the time. So when you was in the bar, there was definitely some. As you remembered to yourself, you remember the singing around and buying drinks, and you remember being up at a bar and buying drinks, and all of a sudden it's just like you come over with this feeling of someone, a presence was there, kind of in the back of your mind. You kind of don't have a sense on specifics of who, but there's definitely, everything seems a bit groggy, but you had this kind of overwhelming sense all of a sudden that someone was there in your mind, almost there, almost like you was being watched. It was odd,
but it's useless now.
but also you don't know who, because it was in the inn, and there's plenty of people around, so you're just like you kind of not sure.
Okay. All right. I don't make anything of it. I just I get up. I wake up Birdie if he's there. If he's asleep.
Leonidas an early waker.
Sorry.
Yeah.
He's up with the larks, is he?
Is he up with the birds?
Literally.
Yeah, I'm literally up with the birds. Yeah.
The early bird catches the worm, you say.
He ain't
Yeah,
better
I
ain't
think-
pulled no
I
worms
think-
in my fucking cabin.
I
See
think I
the
would have
dead
been.
rats.
Yeah, I was going to say, you look down and you can see 3 nicely placed dead rats with weapons and everything else, all very neatly stacked in a kind of a line around where he was sleeping.
Fair enough. I just
Just
step
look
out.
dangerous.
I just kind of step over the stuff and walk out onto the cabin and kind of breathe in the air.
Yeah,
Is
it's
he
a nice
about?
morning, sun
Is he-
shining.
Is he?
I-
Was he in the cabin with me, or was he
Yeah,
outside?
he
on
was in the cabin with you.
Oh,
You
right,
kinda get
okay.
up and he's sitting on the chair.
I
He's
follow
kind
him
of
out.
his bedroll's already rolled up, and his things are just there, and he's just kind of looking at him as you wake up. He's kind of sitting in the seat, just kind of waking up for the morning almost. But yeah.
I didn't have to drag you in here, did I, Birdie? Last night?
No.
Oh,
No.
all right, good.
And I pass him over some water.
Oh, yeah, thank you. Oh,
There you go.
I
Have
see
water
you got
skin.
your rats for breakfast, but I fancy something a little bit more less verminy.
Should
Let's
we go
go.
back to the tavern for breakfast? Oh, no, I can't say that.
No,
Sorry.
you can't. No.
No.
Maybe we should go back
You
to the
can point.
tavern for breakfast.
There you go.
Almost as if you read his thoughts.
It's almost
I
like I
say-
could read his mind.
Yeah. Yes, Fenton. Yes, Fenton. And I start collecting my stuff and putting them back where they belong.
All right,
Okay.
I'll wait.
And the rats go back on the spear. So I pierce them again.
Yeah.
And, yeah, I'm ready.
So back to the inn. Who's in the inn? Who's waking up first?
Brad, can we click long rest, mate?
Yeah. Take your long rest. Sorry, I forgot about that. So all of you, take your long rest, and it'll give you back all your stuff, hit points, all that sort of stuff.
Take long rest, yeah.
So yeah, same as you do short rest, Candy, except this time you're going to press long rest. There are some other little things involved in terms of how many hit dice you get back and stuff like this. But at this point, I don't think you would have used any. So we'll kind of go over that as we start to go along, and that becomes more relevant. But like I said, that was one day, so you won't have lost anything. Actually, how many did you use?
I use 3 spells.
No, not the spells. The spells you automatically get back.
Yeah.
So in the morning is when you now can change all your spells. So you wake up in the morning, and most casters have some sort of ritual or something that they do to go over their kind of spells for the most part.
Right. Okay.
You kind of wake up in the morning, just have a peruse through your mage book, kind of just flicking through, looking at some of the spells, just to kind of keep them fresh in your mind, ready for the kind of day. And it's at that point in the morning when essentially you change your list of spells. So if you have the different spells you have on your list, that point in the morning when you've just woken up, that short kind of preparation of morning, that's when you then change your list if you want to change it. So if you want to change out what is on your list now for any other spells, I think you've got more spells on the list than you have actual spells known at this point. So I don't think it's relevant now. But yeah, that's essentially the point in which you do it. So in terms of hit dice, what happens is at the moment you obviously have 2 hit dice because you're level 2. With hit dice, correct me if I'm wrong, but you normally get back, I think it's half of your hit dice.
Yeah.
So you would get back 1 hit dice. Does it say how many you used?
Does it not do that automatically on D&D Beyond?
I think it does.
I think it does, but I was just saying if it says anywhere that you've used 1 hit dice and that kind of stuff. I'm assuming where you've already done long rest that it probably meant you probably only used 1 or 2 and you've gone back, is my assumption. But effectively, Candy, I'll point out more as we start to go on and that becomes more relevant. Because as I said, at this point, it's not as relevant. But there are a couple of things there to note in the long rest. So a long rest is effectively 8 hours worth of sleep and then some sort of preparation time after that. And as I said, for most casters, that means preparing the day's spells, kind of eating breakfast, them sort of things, especially when you're out and about in that sort of instance. But obviously your hit points heal back up and you get some...
If you click on short rest, it shows you hit dice that you've got available, and if you click on long rest, it tells you that you can recover up to 1 hit dice.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, that's good. So then that's telling you the 1 because of your level, effectively. I don't see where it says how many hit dice you've used, Stuart.
If you click on short rest, there's radio buttons next to each of your
and
lists.
how many spells am I allowed?
Can't remember.
6, isn't it?
Where are we?
Thank you.
No, you might have 6 spells known, but you won't be able to cast 6 spells.
Yeah, I believe
Yeah.
you've got more. I think you've got more slots on your daily list than you have actual spells known. What's the
I'm just
total?
going to go grab a coffee. I'll be back in a sec.
Yeah, do you guys want to go for a quick break in that?
Yeah, but I just
Yeah,
want to
break.
sort my
What's
spells out.
Conjurer's intelligence?
Break.
What's that?
20.
20. And you should have 7 spells prepared and 8 known.
There you go. So there's
Right.
one extra that you don't. You've got an extra one, I think, actually, Candly. You've got
Yeah,
it.
I'm allowed that next one because of my feet.
Because your feet.
Yeah, but that one doesn't count in the ones that you've got there. That one's a separate one. So, because as you can see, it's a high level. So that's because of the feet. So you ignore that one in this, especially now. I think it might be possible you can actually.
So I can change my cantrips, can't I?
I don't think so. No, because the cantrips are the ones you always know. So the ones you change are not the cantrips. All the other ones. So first level, and then when you have second, third, and all that sort of stuff, they're the ones you change. That's the amount in the list. The cantrips you have permanently all the time, and they're the ones you have. So the first level ones and onwards are the ones that you essentially change, and that's the amount in the list. So ignore the cantrips from the amount. So what did you say, Ad? You said known.
Cantrips are separate anyway.
Yeah, but I mean, what did you say? How many you know?
8 and 7 prepared.
Okay, so you know 8 and you've got 7 prepared, so that doesn't include cantrips. You just ignore them from that. So
Well,
out of
cantrips
your
are
first
separate on
level
D&D Beyond as well. So, yeah.
what's that?
Right, so I've got to keep Mage Hand, Minor Illusion, and Ray of Frost. I can't change
Yeah,
them for
them
any
ones,
other.
them ones work in the sense that they're constantly in your brain. They never leave. They're just something you constantly know. You can automatically do at any point. Whereas the other ones are the ones that I was saying when you read through your book in the morning to kind of clarify the spells. They're the ones that you're remembering for that day. You're kind of reminding yourself of essentially what they are, so that you're ready to cast them for that day. They're the
Right,
ones.
so I can't change Mage Hand for another one for this day.
No.
Right.
They're the ones you keep them. The cantrips you keep permanently. The only time you get new cantrips is when you start to level up. There's a chance at certain levels, when you get to a certain level, you'll basically get an extra 1 cantrip, and you can choose what that one is, essentially.
So I've got so my spells I just keep.
You can do. You see, 1, 2, 3.
Because I only know 9.
There's one spell in what have we got here. So the other thing is, I thought it would do it. Let me refresh it. Have you done the long rest so far? Have you pressed it?
Yeah.
Let me check. Oh yeah. I was looking at it and it had the slots. So you see the slots? They're now empty. When you cast a spell, you can press 1 in there to say you've cast a spell. So the long rest takes them away, so they're ready to cast again. And you've got that one as a ritual anyway. So effectively, you don't need to change anything because the extra spell you've got
is Misty Step.
No. You've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. You've got 8 spells, but one of them you can cast as a ritual, so you don't need to prepare it. So the other 7 are the 7 you've got for the day. That's your list. And then the other one that's a ritual means you can cast it at any point in the day, except it takes some time to do. It takes like 10 minutes.
Ritual. I'm just looking for which
1
one
hour.
it is.
That one. Normally they're 10 minutes plus. I think it's the spell level. So normally they're about 11 minutes. But that one in particular you've got there is 1 hour plus 10 minutes.
Which one's the ritual? The bottom one?
No, you can see it. It says where it normally says cast, and then instead of saying cast, it says as ritual.
Cast.
The red cast buttons. I'm on spells.
Yes. The 1, 2, 3, 5th one down.
Yeah. So effectively there you can see that one, because it says as ritual, you don't actually need to prepare that one. That one is there. You can just basically through the day, you'll just sit down at some point and you'll just start casting that spell. But obviously it takes longer.
Right. Okay.
Like to cast it as a ritual than it would normally take.
Okay.
So there are other spells that can be prepared in a sense. But if it's a ritual, that means it takes a long time. So a ritual you're not going to necessarily cast in combat. Whereas if it's something you may want to cast in combat, you may want to prepare it to be able to cast it in a day. But that one is not something you may not want to prepare. But you could put that in as a slot and then cast it in a day in the kind of shorter time it takes. But I think that is an hour casting time whether you cast it as a ritual or not. That's an hour and 10 minutes if it's a ritual, and I think it's an hour if it's not. So that's not a combat spell anyway. So you, at this point, until you get more spells known, your list is already done for you each day anyway. It's the spells you've got, basically.
I'm just looking to see what that actually does, to see whether it's worth doing it in the morning or not.
I would say have a read of that spell now while people are on break.
Mm-hmm.
Come back to me and tell me once you've read it. It's essentially you have a little animal that is, like in Harry Potter.
Yep.
Hagrid, not Hagrid. What's the bird? What's the owl called?
Hedwig.
That's it. Hedwig. That's effectively what that is.
Okay, so it might be worth doing it, just having a little.
So what I would say is have a read through the spell now. It will tell you so you understand what they do and what they're about, but it also shows you what animals you can have. Choose one of those. And I would say that you've already got that spell cast in the past, and that's the animal you've got. So to summon it, essentially you're just kind of clicking your fingers and making it appear. Whereas if it dies, you need to spend some money on essentially the materials, which is like incense and other stuff like that, to kind of cast a small ritual to get it to come up. So at the moment, I would say you haven't got to pay that money because you've already done it in the past. So you have one of those. It's just not anywhere you can see. So if you click your fingers, it would appear. So look through the spell.
Yeah, I'm just looking for it now.
Yeah, it tells you animals. Pick one, and that's the one you'll have. And then let me know, and I can potentially make a token for it as well.
Let's find it, because it done the wrong one. That one.
And Brad, I think I'll be the first one awake.
Okay, yeah, probably would be actually. You're on duty.
Well, so I only need 4 hours sleep.
Yeah. No, indeed.
Bat, cat, crab, frog, hawk.
No, you do. You wake up then. Yeah.
I ain't got to do spells or anything, so.
Yeah, no, indeed. Yeah. Well, you could potentially lay there longer. You don't have to get up.
Oh yeah, I know that.
Well, actually, you don't really need to lay there, but maybe you get up. I don't know. It's up to you. Do you have some sort of pastime that you do because you don't sleep as much? Like, there's no point in going out because there's not going to be many people to speak to at this point in the morning. You've got no purpose to go out yet. You're going to have to wait. But what do you do? What do you do in that time that you've got extra? Are you a reader? Are you a reader of books, maybe? I don't know. You choose your character. What things do you do in the downtime?
Yes, I will be casting that this morning.
And no, that's what I'm saying. You don't have to cast it. I'm already.
Okay. I want to do my find familiar, and I want it to be a hawk.
Okay, so you've got a hawk. So what I want you to do is then think of a name for the sheer sake of it, because then that is essentially your kind of animal. It can be changed, but you would have to cast a spell again to be able to change it. And like I said, in the top of that spell, it should tell you how much it costs. And it's not cheap at low level as such. When you're low level, that cost will impact you more. You don't want it to die, but obviously it can do some useful things. So yeah, definitely have a good read of that spell, get a sense on what you can do with it. But like I said, I'm taking it because you're level 2. You would have already cast it before this point.
Yeah.
Can you still get the Swado dragon?
No, that's
no. I can only get a bat, cat, crab, frog, hawk, lizard, octopus, owl, poisonous snake, fish, rat, raven, seahorse, spider, or weasel.
So what I would say to you, Andy, if you go on D&D Beyond and you search for that creature, it will show you that creature. It will show you the stats of what that creature is, like the character sheet. It will show you. So if you search owl, cat, hawk, all them sort of things. If you search for them, you can then see what they are specifically if you want.
Right, so I'm going to put in hawk, see what comes up.
And it will show you like a small...
Right, keen sight. The hawk has advantage on wisdom perception checks that rely on sight. Talons, melee weapon, right. A Venal hawk. Well, I can choose any of these breeds of hawk. Or is it just got to be a hawk?
Say that again, you can choose any of the...
Because it's like a hawk, a Venya hawk, a blood hawk.
Oh, let me check that.
An animal white rat. Yeah, so there's all different ones, so...
That's a good one. I always forget that. Oh yeah, no, it'd be the top one.
The top one, right?
Yeah, one just hawk. That'll be the one.
Right, so it's got keen sight. So yeah, strength is 5, to 16, 18, right?
Cool. I'm just going through candy with spells and stuff.
Yeah, so I'm gonna have that. I'm just thinking of a name now.
Yeah, I'll practice playing my flute, Brad, in my downtime.
Okay. Yep. How good is your performance?
0.
Okay.
It's based on charisma, isn't it?
Huh?
Based on charisma.
Oh, I see. Yeah, of course.
Some people just have it, Belgarian.
Just thinking of a name for it now.
I'd say you're probably playing it very quietly. You're probably just attuning yourself to it.
Do you want any accompaniment?
No, this was when
Roll me over.
Actually, I should have rolled a performance roll.
Oh yeah, you can roll one now. We see.
17.
Oh, there you go. See, it's people definitely knew it was you.
There was some unintentional stamping and clapping. They didn't want to, but they had to.
Now recall some tappings of hands on desks and some keys and stuff.
I think
It's got to be Lady Hawk, hasn't it?
I was thinking that. It's a good
Love
film.
Lady Hawk.
Yeah,
It's
she's going to be
gotta
called Lady.
Lady Hawk.
She's going to be called Lady.
Yep.
Yep.
Cool.
It has to be, really, doesn't it?
Yeah. What is Lady? Is there a film called Lady Hawk, or was she a character? Yeah, it was a film.
That is the
wasn't it?
film with.
Yeah.
He turns into a wolf
and-
during the day, and she turns to a hawk during the night, or something silly
Sounds
like that.
some Twilight fucking spin-off, but I know it definitely weren't that because I'm sure
Oh,
I watched it.
Yeah, it's got Rutger Hauer.
It was also 2 dogs eating spaghetti as well.
That's Lady and the Tramp.
Yeah, so let me just double check now what she can actually do.
No, hold on. Was it? No, it's the dogs, isn't it? Yeah, I was thinking of the cats. That's the Aristocats.
Oh.
Yeah, so what can she actually
Thomas O'Malley.
do?
Thomas O'Malley. O'Malley the alley cat.
What have I done? Oh,
Something
yes.
like that.
Yeah, I shapeshift Brad into an alley cat and start prowling around.
Well, I'm just reading what it can actually do.
Oh yeah.
So it is. What's the difference between Collestral, Fae, or Fiend instead of a beast? What would be the difference?
Celestial.
Celestial is angel.
Right.
Fiend is kind of demon, devil, and Fae is like fairy.
And cholesterol is what when you eat too much fat. You've got a cholesterol.
Do any of them
hawk.
have any disadvantages or advantages?
Celestial.
A big fat hawk that can't fly because it's cholesterol.
Celestial crest. Yeah, I can't say that.
So it effectively defines where they come from. So when you're casting this ritual, you're kind of pulling them from another place to where you are now. They come from another plane. So not the plane of existence where you are. They come from a different plane. And when you're casting, that's what you're pulling them from, essentially.
Right, so she's going to be Celestial.
Okay.
A Celestial Hawk.
There are certain points with which it may matter.
Mm-hmm.
But overly...
So I summon Lady. Your familiar acts independently of you, but it always obeys your commands. In combat, it rolls its own initiative and acts on its own turn. A familiar can't attack, but it can take other actions as normal. When a familiar drops to 0 points, it disappears, leaving behind no physical form. It reappears after you cast the spell again. While your familiar is within 100 feet of you, you can communicate with it telepathically. Additionally, as an action, you can see through your familiar's eyes and hears what it hears. Oh, that's good.
So
I'm deaf and blind in my own regards.
Chris and David, are you back yet? I think they're 2 are missing. And Adam,
I'm here, mate. I've been here all along. I ain't gone anywhere. I'm listening to you.
I'm here.
It's just Chris. We're just waiting on now.
Finally, when you cast a spell with range of touch, your familiar can deliver the spell as it had cast the spell.
It's been very quiet.
Oh, okay.
He probably has been chatting, but forgot to turn his own mic.
Yeah,
No. You can't sorting out her spells. There's no point in me.
So this bottom bit where it says, finally, when you cast a spell with a range of touch, your familiar can deliver the spell as it is had to cast the spell. So, say if I wanted to do Burning Hands or something, and there was people in the way, could that?
Burning Hands isn't a touch spell. That's an area spell.
Touch
touch.
Touch is like
is Mage Hand touch? No, not Mage Hand. Mage Armor.
No.
Touch.
Yeah, it is. Yeah.
Mage Armor. So
and also the lightning one. What's it called again? Shocking Grasp. Yes.
Shocking Grasp.
Inflict wounds.
Inflict wounds. Yeah. There's Chris.
Yeah. There's certain ones that are touch. So when you look at the top and you've got like the bit at the top is always quite important. So you've got the description of what the spell does, and then the top piece. And the top piece is normally what it takes to cast it in terms of components. Them components are like whether it's physical, whether you speak. You have the components that's possibly a material component, which means you're touching your hat as a focus at that point, or your crown, your tiara. And then you have things like range, area, whether it's a touch spell. Because normally there's an amount of range, or it can just be that you touch something.
What would the what's the symbol for touch spell?
It doesn't have a symbol. It says it in it. So when it has range, look at range, and normally it'll have a range on how far you can cast it away.
Right, so I've got range, self, 30 foot, 90 foot,
so
self, 10
means
foot.
just you.
Right, Mage Armor is touch. It's the only one I've got.
When you get self means only you. You can't use it on anyone else.
Right.
It means it's normally a thing or a person you touch. And then if not those two, I think that's when it's range, which says how far you can cast it away.
Right, so the only one that would be able to do at the moment would be the Mage Armor if I wanted to put it on someone else. Okay.
Potentially.
All right, okay.
There are lots of spells. So there's lots of spells where they're damaging spells, different spells that do different things that are generally touch. So that's what that means. You can use them in its place.
Yeah.
Shield touch, or is that just done instantly?
Self.
Shield yourself.
Yeah.
Self.
Yeah.
Shield yourself, and my Burning Hands is self, and so's...
Your Burning Hand says self, which means it comes from you, but it then gives you...
a cone effect.
Yeah, it gives you an area kind of thing.
Did that used to be able to be cast on other people? Shield.
Right, I'm sorted.
Yeah, I don't think it did. Which is duration at that point. Because it used to be a directional shield, didn't it? So I think it would have self.
And you was asking about who's been up. I was up quite early because I like to get up, meditate and read.
Oh yeah.
To clear my mind in the morning.
You'll also get up early. You'll probably go through some of your research notes, go through your magic, that stuff. Yeah.
Yep, I've done all that. Obviously washed.
As well. I think I'd be up early as well.
So we got Chris back. Is he muted potentially? Not knowing he's muted.
No, I am back. Sorry, Brad. I was a little bit longer than I expected.
Sorry, I took
about
everyone's time.
No, that's cool. I was just going through spells and stuff like that. Candy, it was fine.
Yeah, I've done my spells for the day, Brad.
Cool. So we're all ready to go.
Yep.
Okay, so first thing in the morning, obviously Fenton's up. Everyone's kind of now woke up. Who's essentially going where first, kind of thing?
I'm going to go downstairs and have some breakfast.
Get a cup of coffee.
Okay, I would say you guys are probably coming down at the same point. Fenton and Leonidas are coming in the door. Fenton's looking a bit.
As we're walking towards the tavern, Brad, can I do something? That's all right.
Yeah. Go on in. Yep, you can do that.
I'm going to put my hand to my forehead, to my temple, and then I'm going to try get some sort of communication with Fenton if possible by going through my list of languages. See if I can maybe get some communication.
Let me see.
With him.
Let me see.
And I'm not hiding it. I'm I'm not hiding it from Fenton at all.
And obviously I said how it works. So yeah, you're trying to do that. So I get that. So I'm going to have a quick look and see if that does work. No. No, you get nothing. You're trying, but nothing comes back.
Okay, we've got a bit of a sad face on me now.
You all right there, Birdie?
My comprehend language wouldn't work on
all
you
is good.
Either, would
it? Technically,
unless he wrote it down and I could read it.
No, he can't write down either. The thing is with him, his speech problem isn't that he can't speak. He understands the language. It's that he can't actually form a sentence or write a sentence is the problem.
Right. Okay.
It's not a language barrier. It's an ability to communicate a kind of barrier. It's a different sort of thing than language.
Good morning, Leo. Good morning, Fenton. How's the head today?
Same as always.
Hello.
Morning, all.
Yeah.
Morning.
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 My body language shows that I'm saying good morning. I'm just waving at you. So, hi.
I always think of Flappy Bird. You're flapping your arms in about an inch off the ground, going hello, hello.
I pull up a chair, reverse it, and sit down.
Oh, the old Riker.
Yeah, no, not the Riker maneuver, because in armour I can't put your leg up.
Okay.
His was weird. It was only after someone pointed it out. I used to watch Star Trek Next Generation
didn't
all the way
even-
through. I never noticed it at all.
Yeah.
After I stopped watching it, someone said the Riker maneuver, and it's like, what's
Yeah.
that mean? He said, watch
Yeah.
Harry gets on a chair, and I was like, fucking hell, that's
Yeah.
so weird. He
Yeah,
lifts his
no,
whole
no.
leg over and sits down. It's like, what? That makes no sense. No, I reverse it, so and I sit down, so it's easy to get back off of again.
Cool.
Yeah.
So do you sleep in your armor is the question, because that is, I guess you would have done.
Well,
last night.
I would have done last
probably-
night. Yeah.
well, yeah, I was going to
I
say.
think.
don't think you took it off.
What does that give me? Does that give me exhaustion? If it's
No, I don't think it's exhaustion. Okay. I don't
and
think
also, does my feet give me a little bit of leeway?
No.
Not in a cheaty way. I won't be like just for purposes of dossing on my boat and all that lot. I'm not talking about in combat and out and about in the field and stuff. I'm not going that far. I'm just for just dossing around and over the last couple of months of being basically drunk and in my armor. A little bit of inconvenience. For that point, but I'm not trying to say, oh no, Brad, you said nothing happened when I was sleeping in my armor. I'm not trying that. I'm not trying to be cheaty.
You get back less of your hit dice after a sleep.
Okay, I've not. At the moment,
yeah,
I've never used them, so.
Yeah, well, I'm also going over it now. Obviously, not majorly relevant, but I was going over it just to make sure to highlight to people that is a thing. So when you finish the long rest, during which you sleep in medium or heavy armor, you regain only 1/4 of your hit dice, and any levels of exhaustion doesn't reduce.
Oh right,
by-
okay. So no, but other than that, there's no ill effects for actually sleeping in
No,
armor.
you don't get an ill effect. You're just not getting as much back.
Oh,
it's
okay.
less-
Well then,
yeah.
yes, I was sleeping in my armor. Yeah.
I would say you probably are anyway, generally, in the moment.
Yeah. Yeah, I think I'm pretty much used to.
I certainly wasn't, Brad, because I told you I'd put it nice and neatly.
Your rich will put everything away.
Yeah. Yeah, I've probably been sleeping in my armor for most of my life.
So I say,
I hope you washed it.
Oh yeah. I have to replace all the padding because it wears out.
A quarter round is down, I think it is. So effectively, it should still be one. Same as at this point, it'd still be the same.
Yeah, no, I didn't use any hit dice because I second wind did get hit points back in other ways.
Yeah.
Would
sorry,
I know silly question, but would my hawk need feeding or water or anything?
No, because it's you can technically feed it; it would eat, but it doesn't need to because when you kind of click it on, it disappears back to where it's from. It can potentially go. You know what I mean? It acts like an animal in the way you'd expect it to act in an animal, but it isn't something you have to feed.
And how long does it last for? Until it dies?
Until you actually kick it away. It just stays with you.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
Or it dies, yeah.
Or it dies, yeah.
Yeah.
Hopefully she won't.
That is right, isn't it, Adam? It just stays with you, definitely, if you want it to be. Yeah. So do you have it out now? Do you have it?
Yeah, she's sitting on my shoulder at the moment.
Okay, so big hawk. So
another birdie.
Yeah.
Yeah, you come down and it's like, oh my god, there's another bird.
I'll introduce everyone to her. This is Lady. She does what she wants to do, but she'll also do what I would ask her to do.
Right.
Seems like a very calm bird at the moment. Just
Yeah.
around very casually looking at what's going on.
As long as it doesn't steal any of my sausages.
She's giving Leo a weird look though, because she's not quite sure.
Yeah, Leo's giving that same stare back.
You notice as you're all kind of gathering kind of thing.
I'm impressed.
Immediate lock on eyes like this. and then a turn away, and then a slight look back, and every now and again just look back at each other, and then just carry on as if nothing's happened.
How much is a breakfast in this place, Brad?
What's that?
How much is a breakfast in this place?
Still
Expensive.
Still pricey. You're
But
looking at
good.
Probably 3 or 4 silver is my guess before I look. Check, what was that?
Okay, I've lost my money. No, it's in my inventory. There it is.
Yeah, I'd say 3 to 4 silver.
Why has it gone back up to 10?
Well, I'll choose 3 then.
Well, depends on what you have. If you want something big and extravagant, then 4, and if you want something simple,
I'll pay 4.
Right, no, sorry, I'll get everyone a breakfast.
Okay, cool. Star. Well done.
Sorry, my gold's gone back up to 10.
I wonder if that was because I was on it.
I'm not complaining,
The
but
done it, so it stays as it is.
Some large cheating. The bank has accidentally made a deposit.
Chris, fetch me my hammer.
Yeah, it was on the way when Stuart was talking about his exhaustion.
No, I'm seeing it. Do refresh your page, Candy, because I've seen it as the amount it should be.
Okay, reload.
Do a refresh and check. It might just be that you had another page up or something like that.
What fucking feats has Candy got so that she goes to sleep and wakes up richer?
Yeah.
It's a good feat.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah.
No, it's back to normal.
Yeah, that's cool.
Well, could I please have a coffee, a water, and you do any porridge or oats?
Oh, we could definitely do some oats, yes.
Some oats, please.
Do the breakfast. So does Leonidas eat stuff like this, or is he out with COVID's rats? I asked Quinn to ask him.
Theo?
I think he understands you.
Oh,
You
does
could
he
just
understand?
ask him.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. I say to Quinn, yeah, I'll just have some fish again. Some fish would be fine. I'm not going to eat my rats.
Yeah. So you essentially order up breakfast. You kind of find another table, a little bit more empty in here now. A couple of patrons around. Again, well-dressed people sitting there having some sort of breakfast. You see people with big pots of kind of a lavish kind of teapot, silvery kind of teapot on their table, kind of eating different kind of things. The smell definitely again around this kind of breakfast time, you can smell this fresh baked bread, that kind of stuff. The kitchen clearly seemed to have something where they're wafting the smell out because it's very obvious. And yeah, you all sit down, have a nice breakfast effectively. Anyone wanted to kind of chat over breakfast?
I've taken the gold off.
Okay, cool.
The silver, and I gave him a couple of extra silver as a to the weight or whatever it is.
Yeah. This early in the morning, it's Morley, and he's like, "Thank you."
Is Sammy here? Because I haven't heard him speak.
Yeah, he's here.
Yeah, I came down and said hello.
Yeah.
Oh, hello, mate. Oh, there you are.
Well, I'd like to go and see Balsar because we've got to sort something out with the Brotherhood.
Yes, me too.
If we can, please, before we do anything else.
Is that
Fenton,
related to you being bitten?
Yes. Fenton, do you know where we might find him?
We checked with the priest.
He should be in the guardhouse. I know where that is because I was sitting outside it when the boat collapsed, when the boat crashed. So yeah, after breakfast, I'll take you there. I'll take you to the guardhouse.
Thank you very much.
I mean, do I know where that is? Anyway.
Yeah, you probably would. Yeah, it's the place where nearby where Fenton's boat is.
Yeah, that's right. Okay, yeah, cool.
So yeah, you would know where that is.
Cool.
Yeah, hold on. Sorry, Belgarian isn't Belgarian like part?
I know the area, but I don't know it fully. I'm guessing.
I thought he was not part of the police, but I thought he was part of a wandering group that was tied to not police, but like sheriffs or something.
I'm part of some sort of.
Yeah, he knows the area well enough. He knows.
Okay, cool.
There's essentially 3 of you who know this area very well, and you're one of them. You don't know some of the specifics, but you know this town. Like you've seen lots of different parts of it and stuff like that. You know this town.
So, Belgarian, how long have you been here then? Because I've been here about 6 months, I think now. I'm a bit foggy on it, but I think it's about that long. It's got to be. It's got to be that long.
That's a good question.
You can make it up if you like, and I can correct you if needs be. You can play this bit out if you want, based on your history and stuff.
Probably about the same.
Say that again.
Probably about the same then.
As I was saying, because I don't want to add things in because I want you guys to be able to play the amount you want. But you can say quite a lot. You can, you would have known this from quite a while ago. Years, easily.
Oh, okay. So a couple of years then, I guess.
You've been here. Oh, right. Okay. I know. I've seen you. Is there more of him around as well? More people dressed like you?
Yeah, he wears essentially what is like a grey, kind of grey robes kind of outfit. Essentially,
is he kind of like the equivalent of who the people that wander around on the trains doing good? Like not actually police, but the ones that are right do citizens arrests. Is he like that? Is he kind of a group that's like that? Are they tied to the local sheriffs and local officers, or they actually work with them, or what? How does it work?
You know,
a guardian angel. That's it. Is he a guardian angel?
No, you heard of them. They're essentially wisdom seekers. You know of them as effectively people who go in as investigators to figure out things that are essentially going a bit odd and are called in to kind of understand what's going on.
So he helps the town guard.
Not necessarily the brute force, even though you know that they can take care of themselves, but you know they're more like
specialized in some areas.
Yeah, they're kind of more sent in to kind of understand things.
Okay. All right.
And I've been sort of set to find out about some missing people.
Well, we found him. I pointed at the bird. I pointed at Leo.
That's what I've got to find out.
Put my hand up.
I win. What do I win? Breakfast. That'll do.
Already bought your breakfast.
Yes. Sorry. Yes. So who are you looking for then?
I've got to speak to that Levi Thomas.
Oh, the posh bloke.
Yes.
He was going to give us some money, weren't he? I need money. I find my purse a bit empty now. For some reason. I'm looking at Leonardus. Did you drink all my gold?
No.
No, I think you've done that.
Yes, more likely.
Fenton.
Hello.
That's who. Well, yeah, Fenton.
Yes. Okay.
Pointing at you, yeah, just saying Fenton.
Yeah, I'm just like rubbing my head. Yeah, it's a bit. Yeah.
So should we go and see Belsar and then go and see this Levi Thomas?
Yeah, I like that plan.
Yep, sounds good to me.
Yeah, I'll follow you, mate. Yeah.
Lead the way.
Okay, so you'll make your way back down to the docks, which isn't far. It's only a short walk to the docks, and then I'll walk along. You get to the garrison, and there's two guards outside, effectively the same kind of bluish, greenish sort of plate, scale mail type thing, and they both sit outside on chairs. Look somewhat relaxed, not standing to attention. They're both sitting on chairs. They see you kind of coming up. Like, can we help you?
Yeah, is Belsar around, please?
He hasn't returned from his duties yesterday.
Oh. That's not good.
He can disappear at times. There's enough guards to fulfill for him.
Do you know where he was last meant to be?
I was going to ask you like that. Didn't he tell you where he was going yesterday?
Yeah,
No.
yeah, I see the problem.
Yeah, that's where you knew he was going.
Where's that? From here then?
He said to you he was going off to make contact with Brotherhood. they could be anywhere around town. I don't know the specifics, but I might trust him.
Okay.
I'm going to use Lady.
Okay.
If you guys don't mind, I will sit here. I won't be able to hear or see you because I'm going to channel it to Lady, and I'm going to let her fly around and see if she can see any sign of.
Sharbliz, before you
captain
do that, Lady, before you do that, the captain's wearing the armour like these two here. If he's got his helmet on, he looks exactly like them.
No, he stands out. He's more obvious.
Oh, has he got more? He's more ornate.
He's a plate mail, and he's a more ornate kind of plate mail.
Okay, all right. Well, then I revise that and say, look for that.
Carry on.
Look for someone like that, but more flashy, more golden piping.
Okay, I'll
And if
relay
he's
all
not
that.
wearing his helmet, he's got a big dragon face.
Yep, we'll do, Lady.
I can also help with that.
Perfect.
Summon my raven.
So yeah, Quinn's like, and then Raven appears in a similar way. And at this point, Leo's like,
what the fuck?
Leo's starting to get a bit twitchy now. Leo's just a bit
fucking taking the piss here.
I will send.
I was only burning around it.
I will send Lady south. So if you don't, I'm gonna sit down now. So I won't be able to hear or see for at least until she comes back.
You're my favourite, Leo. Don't worry.
We're north.
Right. So I've sent Lady south.
I go north.
North, south goes out to sea, essentially. So you're on the kind of south side of essentially a crest, that kind of crests down into a kind of channel of water.
Well, she goes down to the sea, then she sort of like surveys the coast and around that area.
Okay, so how long do you two want to kind of spend waiting for the birds to be flying over?
How big's the town?
It's fairly sized, easily a couple of hundred buildings.
We should have done this while we're still eating breakfast.
As it goes up, you're essentially seeing that there's a lot of buildings. Over on the left, you can see the large kind of rock formation that juts out, almost like from the Lion King sort of thing. There's this large rock sort of thing that sticks out, and then you can see the road that leads up to it, and there's at least 5 or 6 large kind of mansion houses on top of it.
About 10 minutes.
Yes, I was going to say we'll give them 10 minutes, let them have a little scout about, and see if we can see anything.
Okay, so I want both perception checks from your animals. So on the sheet, it will tell you what it was. So like I said to you, Candy, when you check out the hawk, it will tell you on there what their perception is.
Right, let me just find that again. So hawk, sorry, I've lost my cursor. Oh, for God's sake.
Hawks also get advantage on it.
Yeah.
And they're flying as well, yeah?
Yeah, they're both flying.
Oh, yeah, fucking joke.
My bird got a 9.
You got a 9 with advantage.
Oh, right then. I used this. How do I go back to the main screen?
Scroll up.
Aha. Right. Hawk. Sorry.
That's fine. What did you get at? A total of 9?
Yep.
Okay.
What am I looking for?
Perception. So it's with perception should have a score there underneath the stats.
Skills go down.
+4.
+4. There you go. So roll
Cool.
D20 twice.
So what did you get total? So dice and +4.
So is that a 20?
D20s.
Yeah. Right.
You roll it twice.
That's
pick the best
that's 19.
Oh wow, 23.
Yeah, 23.
And a 1, so I'll take the 19.
Surprisingly.
You see it as it flies, it just managed to miss another bird.
That wasn't bad, rolling.
So your Raven Quinn is flying around, kind of not managing to see anything, and
It's also slower than the Raven.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah.
Yeah. So your Hawk Quandra is flying around for a bit, kind of goes down the coast, then starts to veer around, follow around the wall. As it gets kind of right round, it comes back up to where the gatehouse was, that was along the road that you was going up the temple. And right at the end of that gatehouse, you can see Balasar is standing at the kind of just right where the actual keep gatehouse is. It's not like a huge kind of thing. It's built out of stone, but it's only about 2 stories high as such. It's not a big, huge fancy thing. And essentially, you can see him standing kind of inside the town side, but he's standing there chatting to someone.
Okay, so he's at the keep gatehouse.
Hmm.
Okay, when Lady gets back, I relay this to the rest of the group.
Okay, so what happens is you essentially, as you and Quinn sit there, the rest of the party see you kind of sit there, and then your eyes kind of just go white, and both of you two, just your vision goes into the birds as they're both flying around. At which point, then you decide to come back, and in that time, you're hearing the birds. So you're hearing the wind. You can hear other birds kind of making noise. You can hear the sea down below, and as you're kind of soaring along, all of a sudden you see him and everything, and you're like, okay, that's him, and then you just kind of will it so, and you snap back out and open your eyes again. And same with you, Quinn.
He's at the keep gatehouse. Shall we make our way there?
Off we trot.
Yep.
I desummon the raven.
Okay. So you effectively make your way down through the square, up and down a long road, passing by all the different buildings, and you kind of get up to the keep house at the front. As you kind of get there, you can see there's other guards around, probably somewhere in the region of about another 12 guards, same kind of guards wearing the kind of scowl mouth. These ones seem to be positioned more around the keep, keeping an eye on who's kind of entering, that sort of thing. Not necessarily stopping people, but just a show of force is there at the gatehouse. And you can see, as you're walking up, you can see Balasar. He's not got his helmet on. He hasn't actually even got it with him. You assume he's put it somewhere. When he turned up at the inn yesterday, he didn't have it with him then either. So you're assuming either he doesn't often fight with it all the time, or he kind of keeps it to the side for normal business. You can see him. He's chatting to, essentially, what you can see is a humanoid figure who's fairly well built. And this figure is essentially wearing a very dark kind of green leather with essentially like a really impressive breastplate. And the breastplate itself has kind of, so the breastplate itself has a kind of tinge of greenishness to it. As you kind of come up to it, you're kind of looking from a distance and you can see there's almost a sheen to it. It's the actual breastplate itself is silver, like really kind of polished kind of silver, and there's almost a green shine that's coming off of it as the light's hitting it in the morning sun. And as you start to get up, you can see there's something on it, and as you start to get up closer to it, you can essentially see that on it there are lots of different kind of monstrous type things. There's like dragon, there's like wolves, there's something that's like multi-headed kind of beast thing. There's all these different things that are all over it, and it's just like, it's almost like the scribblings of a madman, but kind of made beautiful, and it just completely covers the whole thing. And then you can essentially see that he's kind of wearing braces. The green leather armor kind of goes right down, leather kind of leg armor, big kind of leather boots. You can see on his back actually holding multiple swords. So across his back, he's essentially got
An armory.
Yeah, he's essentially got like two long kind of swords, and then another kind of short sword sticking out as well. All seem to be what you assume is in some sort of back scabbard kind of thing. And then on his side, you can see another sword. And then kind of on other leg, you can see daggers. So you can see someone who's very well armored, ready just to jump or whatever kind of thing. I'm just going to get something.
Guys, do you suggest that we talk to him out in the open, or find somewhere quieter to talk to him?
I don't know one's answering
I don't think
you.
it matters.
No, they're not.
Yeah.
I can't.
I don't
So
think it
yeah,
matters.
sorry, Candy.
That's all right. I understand.
Yeah, somewhere quieter might be better.
What are we asking him again?
We basically we need to speak to the Brotherhood.
Oh,
But
yeah,
I don't
about
want
the
to go.
bites.
I don't want to go up to him while he's talking to who I suspect to be someone from the Brotherhood and go, "Could you introduce us? We need to talk to them."
Why
don't feel
not? They're
comfortable.
talking. So you
I
could
don't
say,
feel
"I'd like."
comfortable.
It's perfect time to be introduced, isn't it?
Let's see what Bradley's doing first.
Do you want me to go up for you? You should go up and talk to him. I think it'd be all right.
Yeah, you do your thing, Condra. Doing
Okay.
well so far, so good.
Yeah, go and talk to him.
So I'll go and approach.
Hang on, Bradley's doing something.
Okay,
Hang on.
sorry.
Hang on.
You can go. Go.
Oh, okay.
I'll go and approach Balthasar.
Yep.
I'll wait for him to
I'll go with
finish
her as well.
his conversation.
I'm standing nearby. I'm not looking. I'm looking away. I'm watching the rest of the crowd and stuff. Just kind of default guard mode as such.
As you walk up, Fenton, immediately you notice that armor is more impressive than what thing he's wearing, what Balasar is wearing. The shine to it and everything else tells you there's something else going on about it.
Condra, once you're finished asking about what you need to do,
try and nick the armor.
ask if they need any new recruits, and do the new recruits get given armor for free?
I'll leave that to you. Right, so I approach Balthasar and I say, "Excuse me, Captain."
Ah, hello.
Yesterday we spoke to Mother Fasoon, who suggested that we speak to the Brotherhood about the ailment, about us being bitten by the rat people in the sewers. So I was wondering if it's possible if you could introduce me to someone to talk to, please.
Good. I've just been going over the situation. This here is Devin. He's one of the Brotherhood.
Yeah.
I've just been informing him and pretty much through the night and discussing kind of what we need to do, our plan of what happened. I informed him on what was going on. At this point, Devin, he stands probably as big as Balasar. Balasar is essentially, I think, about 2. And he's fairly kind of big, but this guy is even bigger kind of thing. This guy's really kind of bulky.
Sorry, is he human or is he Dragonborn as well? Sorry.
He looks humanoid, but it's quite big.
Is he as big as I am?
How big are you?
6 foot. 5'11".
You'd probably
say bulky, big, and I am big and bulky.
Yeah, he's big. He's a bigger and bulkier version of you. He seems to be.
Oh, right, okay.
He does look human.
All right.
Probably not like a foot over Balasar, only like a couple of inches over Balasar. Balasar's already quite tall as it is, and this is a human.
I nudge Fenton and stick out my chest and my arm. Up and down.
Yeah, I've got my chest kind of even more inflated than normal, kind of. I'm trying not to notice. Yeah, I'm scanning the crowd behind us, and I'm trying not to notice him, but I'm looking at the corner of my eye, like backwards at him.
So what body language is like big boy, Brad.
Yeah. Leonidas is doing the same thing. So what you also notice is when you get up kind of closer to him, Condra, you can essentially see. You can essentially see that what you can't see from slightly further away is the armor that he's wearing. The leather armor essentially stops at his arms, and he's got the braces here. But down the part of the arms you can see is just thick with kind of lots of dark tattoos. The dark tattoos look like a kind of dark blue sort of tattoo. Very intricate kind of design, some runes and stuff like that on it, but both arms are very much.
Would I recognize any of them?
You'd kind of imagine you're going to have to kind of get closer to see it. Most of it seems to be really small in terms of what it is. It looks kind of decorated, but at the same time looks like there is something there to read, but it looks like you'd have to get closer to actually be able to read it.
Okay.
I prepared explosive runes this morning.
Yeah, he essentially speaks in quite a grumbly voice, but seems well spoken enough. He essentially says to you, "I heard of your situation. Definitely, this is definitely a foul on the land that we need to remove. I'm guessing you can't tell us much more about him than Balasar's told me himself. Do you know
Not-
anything additional about him?"
Just
Not really. But we thought we were just going in to save people from rats, and then we had giant rats, and then some of these rats sort of like turned into all I can describe is like a rat person. It was humanoid, but with rat features. When we killed them, we decided to burn the bodies, and we noticed that they had turned back to humans.
Yeah. Yes, I know of these creatures. I've definitely fought these before. Balasar tells me that a few of you were bitten by them.
I was, and so was Bulgarius, and so was Sammy, but we don't think it's affected him.
Okay, that's most certainly something we're going to have to resolve. We need to resolve that quickly.
yes, please.
Are they going to turn into rats then?
Big smile on his face.
It's possible. It's possible, but they may not know themselves. It's a horrible affliction. It's not nice having to put them down when we have to put them down.
Sorry, lady.
They may not know who they were.
Should I do it now then?
He says, "Lucky for you, we know how to remove this."
Oh.
Cool.
Balasar's just been filling me in for the night on the details of what was going on, and obviously told me about your situation. I've sent off some other members of the Brotherhood. They've essentially gone to collect up some of the bits we need. They're just out kind of beyond the walls at the moment. They'll be back within the hour. Yeah, I'd say within about an hour, we're going to come find you, and we'll perform the rituals and necessary things to be able to hopefully remove you of this.
Is there anything we need to do to prepare?
Just be wary for faults that don't feel like your own.
Okay. So should we say we'll meet you back at the inn in an hour?
If that's where you'll be, then we can do that.
Okay. Thank you ever so much.
Yep.
Okay. Actually, let's change that. Meet us at the temple. That might be a better place to meet.
Okay, temple in an hour.
And Balasar's like, I've arranged you a meeting to see Levi.
Oh, cool. Thank you.
It should just be kind of any time this morning, really. So you could probably maybe go now or go after. It's up to you.
Should we go now? Get out of the way.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
Do we need to go with you, or?
Yeah, we all go.
We all go.
All go.
Yeah,
Never
we
split
was
the party.
all
No,
part of it,
yeah.
weren't we? We was all part of it, so.
Indeed.
Yep, we're all
Apart from in the toilet.
all go, and then go to the temple after.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Lead the way, sir.
Cool. Balasar's not going to go with you. He essentially points you to the road.
Yeah.
We know
I know where it is. I know where it is. So.
Oh, yeah.
Well, we know where it is, so.
Yeah, you know where it is. Bulgarian, you know where it is specifically because you've been told the way. You know which house and everything else. Okay, so you make your way, and as you get to the bottom of this kind of hill, it kind of gradually starts to go up. What was kind of this kind of older, muddier cobblestone starts to turn into more of a square paved kind of small brick in a kind of pattern that kind of waves, sort of thing. The bricks kind of laid out in such a way that kind of waves along, goes all the way up the path. As you start to first make your way up, you can see the buildings immediately start to look much more impressive and grander in size. They have much more of a kind of walled off type front with large gate sort of situation. Garden house is the same with most of these as you start to walk up. You pass by at least probably 6, 7, 8 on either side before you start to get nearer the top of this kind of crest. As you get to the top itself, the houses, even though it's kind of on even though the jutting out piece of land is obviously like a sticking up at a kind of angle, the houses have obviously been leveled off in some way, and they kind of sit level at different points, like steps going up essentially. But the road is a kind of steep straight road. You get up to what is essentially up the top, and up the top there's kind of almost like a circular kind of area, cul-de-sac type of thing, and you can see there's at least 3 large houses up here. One of them, a little bit more grand, has a kind of large round kind of stone tower off the left side of what is essentially a very large, easily 2 stories, all brick built building. It's kind of built out of a clayish kind of brownish kind of brick, and there's lots of flowers kind of leaning across. Essentially, like the front itself has almost like a trellis work with flowers all over it. You come up to the gate, and the gate is effectively open. And as you kind of walk into the grounds, you immediately can see there's like a gardener over on the side who's clipping plants and stuff like that. So you essentially make your way up, which is like a kind of gravelly path up to the entrance, and essentially big kind of wooden, kind of really strong, sturdy doors at the beginning. Kind of couple of nice windows around with window boxes and flowers and stuff like that hanging out. The tower itself probably sticks up further than the rest of the house itself. The tower, you would assume, probably about 4 stories high, plus the roof cap on top. The building itself seems to be a kind of double floored in terms of what you're looking at with windows, but the roof itself is a kind of higher vaulted kind of roof. It kind of juts up quite steeply, and then kind of disappears over the back where you don't see it. So from your kind of angle, you're just seeing essentially a fairly tall building, and then it gets quite high in terms of the roof itself, and then the large tower type part on the left hand side. So you effectively get up to the door, knock, and the door opens, and as it opens, there's a man standing, kind of dark kind of suit, and he's like, "Can I help you?" Another human.
Hello, we're here to see Levi, please.
Is he expecting you?
Yes.
Okay.
Meeting was arranged from Captain
Balsar.
Okay. Yes. Come in. It essentially escorts you in to what is a big kind of foyer sort of area. As you walk in, you can immediately see 2 large grand stairs. The hall you walk in is essentially a really large hall, probably about 60 feet down from where you come in from the door, and either side about 40 foot across. And then 2 large staircases kind of curve up to a kind of upper balcony. You can see kind of doors up there, and you can see doors down the bottom, and a couple of doors off to left and right. Where the stairs kind of curve up, in that kind of curved kind of alcove part on both sides, you can see they're essentially like chairs. Looks like kind of comfy soft chairs, really nice kind of fancy woodwork and stuff. As a craftsman, Sammy, you can essentially really appreciate that there's definitely some nice work going on here. So the kind of stuff that if you was given time you would make, but not your usual thing. You can definitely appreciate the quality. You can see kind of there's candles lighting rooms, silver kind of candelabras kind of thing that jut out from the wall, that are affixed to the wall. As you look up, you can see there's a large kind of almost chandelier type thing that's hanging down from the roof, kind of large wooden rings, 2 of them, one smaller inner one, all with candles all on top. The candles themselves don't seem to be flicking about though. They just seem to be a solid kind of light. Same with the candles that are down low. They just seem to be kind of like a solid light kind of thing, not a flicking kind of effect. Like as the door opens, it's not like a flame, normal flame. He says, "Okay, I'll let Levi know you're here. If you," he gestures to the chairs that are either side. He says, "If you take a seat or wander and wait here, I will go and let Levi know that you're around."
Thank you very much.
I'm just gonna
Quinn.
wander around.
Yeah.
Quinn,
Hello.
I saw you used a spell to do the tidying up thing. I didn't learn that. Can you just do it? Because my boots are a bit dirty and I feel a bit scruffy.
Yeah, no, it only works on me.
Oh, all right. I'll take a seat.
I want to see if there's any like crest or anything, like a family crest or recognizable?
There's not a family crest, but there's definitely, as you look around on the walls and stuff, there's big pictures. From the pictures you can take, there's essentially a picture of a man, which initially you're thinking could be Levi, who is essentially sitting on a chair, kind of looking very regal, and has essentially is wearing like a dark red, but with a kind of cross, like a diagonal pattern, almost stitching across it in like a kind of goldish color. And he's kind of got his head slightly up. Kind of black hair, almost like mine, kind of back in a ponytail. Kind of very thin moustache. Yeah. Seems to be wearing some sort of cape on his shoulders as well. Some sort of kind of like a darkish kind of blue sort of thing. You kind of presume that's kind of Levi. It's very prominent, kind of at one side, kind of thing. Very large, probably about 3 meters high, kind of portrait. Very finely painted. As you look around as well, you can see there's some other ones. You can see another one that looks like a further out distance painting of the landscape of Elkinshaw on the water's kind of edge. You can see it kind of looks out to the water, kind of like a really nice picture of the landscape. Then you can see some other kind of different ones that are not as big as the kind of big portrait there, but you can see some other different portraits around. Another one with a guy who's kind of got kind of grey in beard, kind of older kind of one. That's kind of slightly across the way that you can't see as well. And then you can see some smaller ones kind of dotted around, different portraits of other people as well. You're not quite sure who they are, but there is no specific family crest or something that you would assume is crest-like.
Okay. Yeah, I'll just stand and wait.
You stand and wait. Yeah. Okay, so as you're all waiting, the butler kind of disappears off the kind of opposite direction of where you come in, disappears, and he's gone at the moment for at least like 10 minutes. He still hasn't come back. Anyone want to do anything?
I'm just gonna be looking around.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm gonna see if I can find a toilet.
You look at the doors and you're just not sure which way to go. There's loads of doors. You're just like,
I'll go into the first one.
I use thaumaturgy and blast them all open.
Which side, left or right?
I think the way I
Left.
visualised it was on the right hand side sitting down, weren't we?
Yeah, left was where when you walk up. Left was what was that big tower thing. On the right was like where it seemed to go down further.
On the right.
Okay.
Yeah.
You essentially open the door, and as you open the door, you can see that there's a nice carpeted hallway that goes in from the next one. It kind of goes down a little bit and juts off to the left, and you can see like 2 more doors.
Yeah. Okay.
So you're just going to start wandering off down there.
Yeah. Just need to go to the toilet.
Oh dear.
It only takes about 5 minutes longer, so about 15 minutes, and the butler now seems to be upstairs, and you can see what is the gentleman who was essentially in the picture is now standing at the top with the butler, but this time he's now dressed in essentially like a red suit, like a darkish kind of red suit, very well tailored type of thing, and a kind of waistcoat as well. And immediately he looks over the balcony to you lot and he says, so you're the Newtown help, it seems. Let me come down. I'm interested to meet you all. He comes downstairs.
Did he call us the help?
Yeah.
The town help.
The town help.
So yeah, he comes down and goes, 5 of you? Wasn't there supposed to be 6 of you?
Yeah, it's one of our colleagues that's gone looking for a toilet.
At that point, Leonidas is coming back through the door with like a lady who's wearing like an apron, holding the rolling pin, like.
Has Leonidas got toilet paper stuck to his feet?
No, you don't think he found one. He found house help and has been shooed away. It's kind of flapping. It's got a rolling pin in one hand and flapping across it.
Dear.
I'll telepathically, I go to Quinn, just say, I'll try to be, proper. Try to find the toilet to go to the toilet.
They're there.
And I apologise.
He is sorry.
So Levi, essentially at this point, is kind of gliding almost down the stairs. He's walking, but he's kind of walking in a very regal way, kind of arm on the banister, kind of gets down to the bottom and says, "Okay, so Balasar tells me that you are essentially all jumped to the aid of Elkinshaw. This definitely pleases me."
Yep.
Yeah.
I introduced myself and I introduced all the others as well.
It's nice to meet you all. I'm glad to hear that you've all jumped in and helped out when the town was in need. Is there any reason that we've had such aid from yourselves?
Well, I've been
Fight.
sent. Go on.
No, sorry, that was it. It was a good fight. That's all I say.
Yeah. Oh, okay. Yeah. It was a good fight. Well, I was sent to look for the missing people on your for you anyway.
Ah, the wisdom seekers. Yes, of course.
Yes.
I'm expecting you to be coming.
And
Yeah, so I did send out information, but I don't have a lot of information to give you as such. I do have some. But first to the matter at hand. So he kind of gestures up to the butler who's kind of coming down. The butler walked off for a second and has kind of come back. And the butler kind of comes down holding something, passes it over to Levi, and Levi goes, "This is definitely helpful for the town, and I hope this will be enough for now." And essentially kind of puts out like his hand holding a small bag.
Thank you.
That's for you as a group. I don't know if you are a group or if you're individuals, but hopefully you can. I have faith in you as a wisdom seeker, but you'll be able to divvy this up however it goes.
I hope we stay as a group. Been pretty good so far.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I'm sure I could definitely use some help for a few matters. So if you are a group, I'm sure I've got some business I can chuck your way.
For the time being, yeah.
Yep.
Okay.
All for one.
One for all.
But also as a way of reward, what I would say to you is I'm very pleased for what you've done for the town. Rupert tells me of how you essentially managed to save him and how bad that could have been. He was definitely very pleased, and he essentially gave me some of this money for the reward, which is essentially what he gestures to what he's just given Belgarian. And then obviously I've thrown a bit more in there on top.
Okay, thank you.
And
Did he get bit? Sorry to interrupt, your lordship, but did he get bit, or his wife?
I think Balasar was probably chasing up. I don't know the details of that.
Okay.
Balasar, the captain, has essentially informed me of the situation, told me of your good deeds, and yeah, has essentially. As I said, I'm very pleased that you've managed to assist the town. I'm sure Balasar was probably pleased to have the help, but it's not all the time that we get people jump in for the sake of assisting. They normally leave it to the town guards, especially in a place like this. So most certainly, well done indeed.
People needed help.
I just found myself. I just found myself in the right place at the right time.
Well, if there's anything else I could help you with, if there's anything you're seeking, if you need some help, then by all means, definitely grace me with your presence again.
May I ask a question?
Yeah, sure.
I have this dagger that I've had since I was born.
Okay.
Well, it's a small knife and it has a crest on it. I was just wondering if you recognise it at all. So I show him my blade, my knife, which is.
He takes it, looks over it, and goes, "It's a finely crafted blade. I could definitely say that." And then he's looking at it and kind of staring, and he's like,
you mind if I have a look at it?
Most certainly.
And he says, I don't recognise any of the symbols and stuff on it. And then he passes it over to you, Sammy.
Can I have a look at it, Brad? Maybe
Yeah.
history or I don't know.
Just trying to find it so I can explain what it looks like to you.
Yeah.
Right, it's a small knife. It's about 4 inches in length. It's it looks old, but it doesn't seem to wither with time. The handle is finely crafted wood with inlaid silver and a small symbol of a great elk head surrounded by arrows.
Oh, it's a dagger.
Can I go and have a look with? Can I go and join Sammy and have a look at that as well?
Yes, you're all peering around. Everyone's kind of now looking up to look at this dagger. None of you recognise the symbol on it as such. The symbol itself, the elk head with the arrows are essentially kind of layered around it, almost like a sunrise. And the kind of elk is kind of really nicely done in the silver, essentially. I'm just looking.
You should have shown Devon.
I will show him when we meet him in the temple.
Because they had some intricate armor and stuff.
Yeah.
It looks like something that they might know about.
I will ask when we meet in the temple.
I'm assuming this is very good workmanship as well. Well crafted.
To be honest with you, I don't know who crafted it. It was found with me when I was a baby by my my adoptive parents who took me in.
Is it magical at all? Do you know?
I have no idea.
If you've got 10 minutes, I can. I can't do that.
You
I say
can't
to
speak.
Quinn. Yeah, I'll say to Quinn if we got 10 minutes, I can do a spell that could confirm if it's magical or not.
I can confirm that.
Yeah, it sounds good. It'd be interesting to find out.
Yeah, we sit down on the stairs in Levi's house.
Yeah, in Levi's house.
Perform a spell ritual.
No, we.
We've
we've
got a bit of time.
When we got a bit of a time, maybe after we've seen Balthasar. No.
Yeah.
Yes, so, Balthasar at the temple.
What jobs is it you've got then, your lordship? Is he a lord? I don't know why I'm saying that.
You can call me lords, most certainly. At the moment, I need to just essentially speak back with some people who are essentially asking me some things I need done. I haven't got the specifics of you right now. I will definitely come back for you. I'm more so inquiring as, are you a party seeking work? Which I'm sure I can make use of.
Okay, cool. Thank you.
I have no pressing business. I'm happy to help out for a while.
Yeah.
If you know.
I hate to leave quickly like this, but we do have a prior engagement at the temple.
Yeah. Okay, hold on just a second.
Ba 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 ba
I'm not, not that I want to agree with you or anything, Stu, but
yeah.
In Critical Role, when they were level 3, it only took them 5 sessions.
David, the dagger that you look at isn't a normal metal. You know
it's
that.
Not a what?
It's not a normal metal. It's not iron. It's not steel. The blade. It's something else. It's silvery, but it's not normal metal. You can see it.
Well, there you go. That's something I didn't know about it.
Else is definitely something more than just iron or steel. But you're not quite seeing what it is. You're not quite sure.
Plutonium.
It's yeah. It is a very interesting metal. I need to possibly carry out some investigation into it. Just even, maybe if we could sort of find the type of metal that it is, it might sort of point us in a direction of where it came from. You know, something. If it's not a common material. So if it's not steel and iron, then it may come from a particular area or a particular mountain range or something like that. At least narrows down where you might want to look for it.
Mm-hmm.
So
Do you
if
know
you've got
where
a
you
bit
were
of
found? Because you said you were found by someone.
Yeah,
when you were born.
1 second. Where'd it go?
That might help Sammy narrow things down, like a region.
Who's holding the gold, by the way? The party gold.
Well,
I
I
Quinn
grew
was.
up in
I hand you the
I
gold
grew
back.
up
I'll stop
in.
counting it.
I was found in Thornbury, which is the
Are we-
west of the Roscoe Empire.
Okay, are we having this discussion in Levi's house, or are we on our way back down to the
Well,
temple?
I take it we're walking back down to the temple.
No,
so
you're still standing there, and he's standing. He's just handed it to Sammy, and you guys are all talking, but he's just standing there. He's just listening. He's not. He doesn't seem
Yeah.
upset. He's just standing there. He seems
Cool.
So
kind of not moving.
Sorry about that. Yeah.
Sorry,
Levi.
sir.
No,
Should
that's
we
fine.
should we make our way to the temple and we can
I can
discuss
see
this on the way?
you're not a long established group, maybe, but that's fine. What I would suggest to you,
We've known each other for ages.
You, sir,
Been almost a whole day.
You, sir, I know are a bit of a troublemaker.
I look around to who's he pointing at?
Not
Yes,
us five.
I would also like to extend out as a reward. In 4 days' time of the evening, we've essentially got a ball in my halls. Many of the folk of the town will essentially be coming. Perhaps if you're seeking information, maybe there are information to glean off some of those. It is a masquerade ball, so I would request that you maybe have a mask or go and procure one. And yeah, I would very welcome you to the masquerade ball.
Okay, thank you very
thank you.
much.
I could get a mask, but I'm not sure, how effective it would
No
be.
one will recognise you. How do you think I'll fare with a mask?
He says it's fine. It's merely for character. It doesn't have
enough.
to completely disguise.
Right, so
Well, shall we be off then to the temple?
do you mind if I take the dagger back?
Yes, no, that's fine.
Sorry, it holds it's sentimental.
That's
We
your
look forward to
dagger.
speaking to you again soon, Levi.
Indeed, by all means, come back and speak to me if you need anything. Belgarian, if I could get you to stay with me just a while longer, the rest of you are going to leave.
Okay,
I
cool.
can tell you through the information you needed.
Okay.
Cool. I'll catch up with you guys.
Okay. We'll start making our way down then, I suppose.
Okay, so you guys kind of all leave. Belgarian, he essentially now says to you, the information I've got is sketchy at best. A couple of different reports have come to me from different people around Elkinshaw, essentially. The only real concrete thing I've really got that really tells me something that made me send out the request to your organisation. Essentially, there was a family down on what is essentially the very far end of Elkinshaw, and he essentially, what he's meaning to you is he's essentially meaning there's a slightly kind of cheaper end. What is down near that kind of end of where you was when you run down to the caves, but over on that kind of back end, the city kind of extends out a bit, and there's kind of more cheaper kind of houses there. And he's essentially says to you, down, I've got reports that effectively a family went missing. A male and a female and 2 children essentially were there.
Okay.
I've checked in with the guards and sent them round, and there is no response. So no one seems to be answering. They've checked through with some neighbours and stuff like that, and most people were saying that they haven't seen them for a while. So as far as I'm aware, they're not there. We don't know why. This has probably been...
So who does I speak to actually get into the property, if that's okay?
Probably going to speak to Balasar, and he can sort out means to make it safe to be able to go in. He'll take a troop of guards with you just to make sure there is no trouble. Effectively, as far as I'm aware, they've been gone about 2 weeks. The most thing that got pointed out is there's a kind of smaller school over on that side of Elkinshaw, and the children just did not show up. That was the first thing that was to note. They kind of just went, like, for a week they'd gone. They were normally the kind of children that got taken to the small school, and then that's it. Just they weren't there. So I would imagine the teachers were then reporting this, and it gets back to me, and I found out that. And then since then, there's just been other words of is that person missing? Is that person? There's been a whisper kind of on the winds as to potential other people go missing, and that's essentially why I've called you in. The concrete evidence is that so far we have not found this family, but there are other whispers going around of potential other missing people. I don't have any specifics on them. I'd potentially say down kind of whereabouts where that school is, not far over from that, there is also an orphanage near there. I've heard some whispers that potentially someone's gone missing from there as well, but I haven't sent anything yet to be able to go and check that out, hence why I've asked the wisdom seekers to come in. So if you could go and essentially go and check through and check if there's anyone else, that would be rather useful. And then on top of that, where have they gone? I have no idea what's going on here. So I've already spoke to the wisdom seekers regarding pavement, and I will clear that up with them. So essentially, I hand it over to you to come back with whatever information you can get me. Really.
Okay. Cool.
Excellent.
Sounds good. I'll certainly chase that up for find out what's going on. Hopefully.
I will wait here eagerly for you.
Okay. Meet you soon. I'll go and catch up with them lot.
Okay. So you guys are all making your way back down. Where are you making your way to the temple?
Yep.
Yeah.
To answer your question, Sammy, I was raised in Thornbury, which is west, in a place called Thornbush Woods. And all I know of how I came there was that I was found in a bundle of blankets in a druid circle.
Yeah, and I'll speak to these lot about the missing people, because obviously Fenton probably be definitely one that'd be up for.
Okay, so what do you say to these guys then?
I'll tell
Well,
them.
let's start first with Candice. Candice essentially sent.
Oh yeah.
Mhm.
You've heard of Thornbury, but you haven't specifically visited there. You know it's on the way. You know it's on the road towards the west. It leads off of that road. Essentially, when I do provide you with a map, you'll know that road. But essentially, the road that leads off towards the west, essentially, there are some towns there that you do frequent. You know of Thornbury from this, but you don't specifically go to Thornbury because you know it's not very large. Dave, that was for you.
As Fenton says, it helps me to narrow down the area maybe where this metal, if I can work out what metal it is.
So the wood that is there is a very large wood that takes it all the way up to effectively the Cinnabar Sands kind of desert area, which you know of as well. You know that the wood kind of covers all the north part of that land. Before the next session, hopefully, which we'll play, I'll hopefully have the maps done, and you will get a sense. I'll show you what that actually is. That woods.
Okay. Cool.
But we have more pressing matters to deal with at the moment instead of my dagger.
Fair enough.
Belgarin's on is catching up with us now.
So what was you saying then, Belgarian?
Yeah. So guys, it sounds like there's a whole family gone missing. And there's whispers of other people gone missing out of the town.
Like who?
And I'll relay where
The orphanage.
the orphanage and the house and.
What happened to the rat people when they turned back to humans?
We burnt them. But I don't, with them being alive and doing it, we don't know.
There was
You
two
can
kids
recall.
missing.
You can recall that there were 3 males, the ones you burnt. 3 or 4? I can't remember how many, but they were all male, the ones you burnt. There was no female.
Did you say there were children that had gone missing, or did
Yeah,
you say
2.
men that had gone missing?
2 children, 1 woman, 1 man.
Okay, all right. So, and we burnt
It's not
3
them,
rat men. Right. Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
But that doesn't mean that they weren't taken
But,
by
yeah.
these people, does it?
True.
Mm-hmm.
True.
I dread to think if they were what they do with the women and children.
I bet Levi say with a bow sign about him, about his family?
No, he said to you. I can't remember what he said to you now.
He said that Balsar could make it so as we could get into
into there. All right, we're going to speak to
Yeah,
Balsar, I think.
he said he can essentially send speak to
this is
Balazar and he
done.
can send a troop of guards that can help make sure that you're not getting in trouble for breaking and entering.
Yeah.
So we're.
So maybe I suggest we go to the temple first.
Oh, we're doing temple first. Yeah, definitely.
Hopefully get this ailment cleared from our system, and then I'm up for another little adventure if you want to continue it further. So I think by now we've reached the temple.
How much money did we get?
In the bag of gold, Quinn, you essentially open it. There's 200 gold in there.
Cool.
So we have 300 in the sharing pot.
Yeah.
350.
350 in the sharing pot.
That's a couple of good nights.
I think it's 300 because there was 100 in the
100 and then
200.
The way you can check that is on Foundry. You've got your journals, which is the same place.
Yeah, I'm looking at it. We've got 100 gold and then question marks.
Yeah, so everyone should be able to see that as a journal.
300 at the moment.
So it's 300 gold party.
Yeah, when you go to your journals, you should see party loot.
Yeah.
Journal. Oh, that's on the other one.
Book.
Yeah.
Do you think we should divide it up now? I seem to recall somebody was running slightly short.
Hello.
Last night. And could probably do with their fair share now.
Okay. Yeah, I equally divide it.
So it'll be 50 gold each.
There you go. Definitely sitting prettier now.
Yeah.
Okay.
Do I just add that on myself or?
Yeah. Add 50 gold. So you add 50 and then put add, or you can just directly add into the numbers.
Brad, where was the families gone missing, or the kids and stuff gone missing from? Whereabouts?
Down on what is essentially more like a cheaper side of Elkinshaw, which is where you went in the cave. Effectively, up on top of that, the Elkinshaw kind of expands out, not by the water's edge, but slightly out into the land.
Is there a specific part of the town that it's called, like the Poor Quarter or something like that?
No, it doesn't really have a name for that.
Okay.
The town's not big enough to have individual names for the areas.
Okay, all right.
But yeah, it's kind of considered a bit of a poor quarter.
Poor.
But without a name. They tend not to try and say it. But it's obviously more poorer of an area.
Right, so I think we're in the
So you make your way to the temple.
Yep.
You get to the temple, you walk in, and Vessoon is there, again dressed in kind of her robes, speaking to Devin, who's kind of there already talking. And as you kind of walk in, you can see that some of the pews have been essentially moved back. They've kind of been moved in almost this large diagonal kind of area now where they've been pushed back diagonally. And in the middle, you can see there is kind of like a large circle of something. You can't see it first, but as you start walking down the kind of central aisle, which is still there even though the chairs are pushed out, you get up to it and you can see there's loads of leaves and kind of berries and stuff like that are effectively made this huge ring, easily big enough for a few of you to lay down in, kind of thing.
Cool.
As you walk in, there's obviously Vessoon, Devin, and at least two more others. There is the two others that you see are again. One is a female human, and one looks to be more half elf. Kind of see a bit more of the kind of ears and the kind of shapely face of the eyes, the wide eyes, that sort of stuff. And both of those are equally wearing a similar short-sleeved dark green leather, kind of full leather, with essentially the same kind of breastplate, very ornate, very kind of silvery, same kind of weird sheen that you're kind of getting through the lights as it comes in. And then kind of adorned with all those kind of creatures, making that kind of intricate kind of pattern all the way across it. The female has essentially what is a very ornate type of bow that is essentially on her back. You can kind of see it sticking out, kind of long bow essentially, but it's not the normal rounded shape of a bow. It's a kind of more composite kind of sort of bow essentially. It's got more of a shapely kind of sense to it. And then you can obviously arrows sticking up kind of the other side. And again, just both of them have this lots of different weapons kind of over them. They generally have like pouches on their belt and that kind of stuff. They kind of look like pulled up adventurers essentially, but they are wearing a similar armor.
That was going to be one of my next questions. Are females in the Brotherhood?
Yeah, so this one definitely answers that question essentially. She's got kind of like a darkish kind of blonde hair that seems quite long, but is all plaited at the back into multiple plaits that essentially go down. So kind of very functional kind of hairstyle, essentially, you're assuming. The other one, the half-elf one, isn't, obviously Devon's kind of really big and buff. The other one, the half-elf, doesn't seem quite so big and buff, but
It's
definitely...
the half-elf a man, sorry.
Yes, he's a man. And he's kind of got like just a darkish brown hair that seems long, that's kind of wrapped up in a bit of a bun at the back kind of thing. Again, they seem to have a very kind of functional, they're very tooled up and have a very functional sense about them. You kind of look at them and think, if something comes running out the door over there, they're ready to swing straight away. They look ready all the time. And normally that's slightly odd in terms of walking around town, because it's not you don't see people brandishing weapons all over the place. But these guys seem to walk around very obviously with these kind of very armed, essentially people who most people don't seem to be concerned about in any sense. Their name's obviously good enough that people don't fear them in any sense. Even though you know that they're not quite strictly like a good nature. They're not like the sheriffs or anything like that. But generally, there's a good enough name in terms of safety around them. And as you essentially come in, the elf one is essentially kind of pouring kind of liquids from some bottles, essentially seems to be kind of separating them out into different bottles. And as you kind of come in, Vessun immediately turns and says, welcome, welcome. So the Brotherhood are here. They're going to be essentially performing the ritual that's hopefully going to remove you of your ailments.
Thank you.
So she looks around and kind of goes, okay, so I know you and you. She looks over at you, Sammy, and says, you might as well be involved just in case. Probably better.
Better to be safe than sorry, indeed.
Indeed. And she looks over at Quinn, Fenton, and Leonidas and says, I'm guessing you three were the other three members of the party?
That is correct.
Okay, so you guys might as well join in as well in this ritual. Again, it's better to be safe.
We don't have to sing hymns, do we?
There'll be no hymns involved. You're fine.
I look all sad.
You can definitely come for hymns on another day, but maybe quiet for this one for concentration.
Okay.
So essentially, Vessun says, if I could get you all to step into the circle and sit down and face out of the circle in a circular formation of the six of you.
Okay.
So
I send Lady to go and sit on a pew somewhere.
Okay, yeah. on the top of one of them, proudly looking around. Leo still like with that weird kind of bird quick snap.
I got one eye on him.
Down.
One eye on everyone else.
Yeah, and the other one's closed whilst I'm concentrating on the ritual.
So we're all sitting in a circle facing outwards.
Right, so you're all sitting in a circle facing outwards, and as you're sitting there, the female comes over and she essentially has some sort of like big, almost like cup sort of thing, kind of made of metal, and in the top is a kind of fire burning at the top that looks like that they had just to the sides, and she comes over and places it behind you all.
Are we going to get teleported to a cartoon land, turned into cartoons?
I do not know.
What's a cartoon? What's a cartoon?
The lady says to you, I do not know what things you speak of.
Okay.
And then as she's putting that in, the Devin's just kind of standing there with Vessun. They're just kind of standing watching over. The half-elf kind of comes round, and where you're all kind of sitting down, all the berries and the leaves that are essentially round, he's kind of come around with more of them that are crushed, and he starts kind of putting them all over your legs and essentially makes you linked to the circle. And as he's kind of doing it, kind of some of them land on your feet and your legs, and it's made you all kind of as one in this kind of ritual kind of circle that's going on. And then as he finishes that, the lady comes around with all them different little vials of liquid, and as she comes around, she essentially just starts splashing them over the bottom of your legs and around where the kind of leaves and berries all kind of make the circle. And Devin says to you, I need you all to now close your eyes. So do you all close your eyes?
We
Yeah,
do.
yeah.
I close
Is
my
there
eyes.
going to be
my
any
eyes are closed.
touching?
What happens if you haven't got eyes?
Go in your mind. Just think of your mind.
Okay.
Do not use your eyes. And he says to you, now what I need you to do is think back to the situation or what happened, what comes to your mind. And all of you kind of sit there, you close your eyes, and you're all sitting there thinking, you remember in Fenton, you're going over to fight, and you almost have a smile on your face at the pleasure of how you was doing. Quandra, it kind of comes back in that sense of the danger that was there. You're just a bit like, a bit unhappy at the situation. Leonidas, you seem to be filled with joy at the fact of being found. You're definitely quite pleased with that.
And also, I'm thinking of the 3 rats as well that I've got.
Yeah, they definitely come into mind. You're almost thinking of recipes as you're going through it.
Ratatouille.
Yeah, indeed.
You no longer the fight scene has kind of disappeared, and you're just now thinking of recipes.
Exactly. But there's a connection there.
What's a good seasoning and things like that you're thinking. And as you're kind of sitting there, immediately, as that's kind of filling your mind, that kind of sense of when you're sitting there, Condra, you're getting that kind of anxiety from the fact that the battle was a bit tough for you. You took quite a few kind of scrapes and stuff. Belgarian, you kind of felt fairly comfortable in the situation, and you was kind of like just very calm. You're going to a kind of zen place, sitting there very calm. Nothing's bothering you. This is very much your kind of zone to sit there and kind of meditate, essentially. So as you're kind of sitting there, all of a sudden, just in your mind, you just have this like this flash, and the flash that you get is this kind of this vision of the kind of rats who are attacking you. And as you're sitting there, this kind of flash and a flash again, and then all of a sudden it just becomes real. And now you're sitting in what is essentially the sewers. No one's around you. You're just sitting there, and you're kind of looking. And as you start to open up, you don't open up your eyes in where you're essentially sitting in the real world, but you in your kind of with your eyes closed essentially now kind of look up, and as you do, you can now see, and as you see, you look up and you can just see these rats. There's like more than you can essentially, you can't see anything else. You know you're sitting on the sewer because of the floor, and as you look up, there's just loads of these rats. They're just hacking away essentially at you, and you're just kind of sitting there calmly, just unsure of what's happening, and you're just seeing more and more rats just essentially as you start to see they're similar faces to the ones that you essentially burn. That kind of half kind of humanoid rat sort of thing is what you see. And as you're sitting there, just a fear starts to creep over you. And as you look up, all of a sudden, there's almost a dimness to the light as a big, almost ogre-esque size type of rat just peers over the top of them and looks down at you. And immediately you're not quite sure. At the same point you're getting that, Quandra, you're getting exactly the same thing he's getting. So you are also seeing these rats that are all scraping away at you. Again, this big looming kind of rat that's kind of looming over you. And then all of a sudden there's a clap. And as you hear the clap, you open your eyes again and you're back in the temple. And as you're looking around, you're unsure of kind of what's going on, but everything around you now has gone dark. What was essentially this white marbled place has now a black fog is essentially around the walls, around where you are. You're looking for where the marble is, and you can see it goes up, and this black fog is kind of all around the edges, but it only goes up so high, and you can see the temple's there. So you know the temple's there. You kind of feel like you've opened your eyes, but you don't know now where you are. You feel like the temple is here, and you want to get up, and as you go to move, you feel like you're sitting on the floor. You feel like you're stuck to the floor, and you can now not move. And as the fear starts to get to you too, you're like, and you can feel the people next to you who were sitting next to you at the time when you were sitting down. And as your arms are against the floor, you can't move your arms either, and you're just looking around now. And the other people who were with you, they're sitting there still with their eyes closed. But both of you individually, not being able to see the other one, you, Condra and Belgarian, you can't see each other as such. You're looking kind of out, and as you look to the side, you see other members, but you don't see each other. And as you're looking around, they still have their eyes closed. And you just kind of sit there, fear kind of welling inside you. And then all of a sudden, all these thoughts of must get out, must move away, must go kill, must eat. And you're just like, what's happening? What's happening? And then all of a sudden, all the smoke goes, and you just open your eyes, and you're like, and you're back in the temple. The temple is now essentially back as it was. You're sitting there. The other guys are sitting next to you. They've also just opened their eyes. Everyone has now just opened their eyes. You look around, and everyone is just like, you, Belgarian and Condra, you're kind of almost breathing heavily, kind of a bit like, what just happened? All the other four of you, for you, you just kind of sat there in memory of what was going on. Fenton, just more smile on your face, just glory of battle. Quinn, just generally looking, staring at the marble. Nice. Leonidas, just still, that seasoning's not right, needs something more. Sammy, you're just like, I'm missing business.
It's fair enough.
And immediately, as you kind of come around, and there's that panic that's hitting you, Quandra in front of you, the female, is outstretched a hand towards you to pick you up, and Belgarian on the other side, the half elf, is reaching down to you to pick you up, and they've got their hands outstretched to you. Do you take it?
Yep.
Yes.
And they lift you up, and as they lift you up, and says, "It's done," and they lift you up, and the rest of you can get up as well.
Thank you very much. I think.
You'll be safe now.
Very appreciated. Is there anything we can do in return?
No, more so. It's the good that we've done by not allowing you to be that.
Thank you.
Call it a service to the town, if you like. I'm just glad you was very, very willing, and I hope it wasn't too difficult for you.
You obviously didn't see any of that, did we, Brad?
No, you four didn't see it. Them two definitely saw it, but they don't know each other saw it.
Sure.
But you two saw, Quinn and Belgarian, you saw exactly the same thing.
Okay, cool.
So basically, we just saw a giant ogress rat peering down at us.
As well as many others.
Mm-hmm.
Far more than the 3 or 4 you saw.
Yep.
Okay, so at this point, Devin's like, okay, so hopefully no more ill effects. Are you around town for a bit longer?
Yes.
Yeah.
I'd say come back, check in with me in maybe a day's time. I'll be at the keep house. Come back and check in tomorrow, say probably about sunset. If you come back to me about then, I'll just have some extra questions for you.
Okay.
You should be done after that as such.
Cool.
Okay, you're free.
I'm intrigued to. I'd say to Quinn, find out what that spell was, or what they cast, just for knowledge reasons more so than anything.
Yeah. Excuse me. What was that you actually just did on us?
That was a sacred ritual to remove evil from you. Although we could see only 2 of you are affected.
Right. Does it have a name by chance?
You probably wouldn't understand the language of the names.
I understand quite a few languages, actually. Thank you very much.
You're not part of the Brotherhood, which probably means you don't know the language. So we'll keep that information.
I think you're being told it's a. That's it. They're not going to tell you.
It's local knowledge.
But we do thank you for your help.
Yep, thank you very much.
That's not a problem. Glad we could make sure that you don't cause risk to anyone in the Empire.
Let's hope that no more big giant rats
turn up.
Devon, may I ask you something?
Certainly.
I was told that you might know more about this. I have this dagger, and it has an emblem, a symbol, a crest. I don't know. I was just wondering if you would recognise it.
He takes it, kind of spins it around, kind of wiggles it around a bit.
I'm nudging Quandra as well.
Yeah, finely crafted blade. Definitely a finely crafted blade. Old blade. The symbol doesn't register with me. It seems unique. Probably not from the Empire. The craftsmanship seems elven, for sure. The wood of the handle, definitely a dark magical wood. Not dark as in dark magic, as in a dark wood, but it's magical. And the metal here is definitely a magical metal. It's not a metal I know. I could take the blade and take it to people who would know, but me personally, I'm looking at it. I can see similarities of things, but I can't tell you anything really specific that you may want to know. But I could certainly, if you wanted to part with a dagger for now, it may be gone for a while, but I could potentially find out more information. Or I can leave it with you and let you find whatever else. But I can certainly tell you, elven make, definitely old, definitely not of the Empire.
Okay, I'll keep it on my persons for now, and I may take you up on your offer later on.
Not a problem.
Thank you ever so much.
Sensible decision. I wish you well. Hope you find what you're seeking.
Okay, so I will see you tomorrow at sunset.
Good.
We're in the temple, aren't we?
Mm-hmm.
Is there anything that I notice familiar in this temple? I've just been a quick look around.
It's very typical of a temple you would know. So the temple itself with the big shrine, candles, the sense of incense that you can kind of smell. Again, that kind of rose kind of incense again. You can kind of smell that sort of similar smell. It's a very similar kind of setup to what you would expect of a temple. It's just that the deity itself, you don't know an awful lot about. Like I said before, you kind of have heard information of, but you don't know an awful lot about them.
I want to roll a religion check because I don't want to embarrass myself. So yeah, we'll leave it there.
So, what's the plan now? Are we going to go to
Should we find out about this family?
house?
Maybe.
Or do you want to go back to the inn, sit down and refresh a bit?
What's the time now? It's not even lunchtime yet, is it?
No. But it depends how long the ritual took.
No, it's not. It's probably just coming up to lunchtime. It depends. It depends. I've.
It is coming up to about 12 o'clock. As you leave the temple, you're assuming that took a lot longer than the short time you thought it took. You must have been out for longer than you realised. It's definitely midday-ish by now. It was fairly early when you got up. You would have all been up fairly early.
Mm-hmm.
You went up to see Levi. That didn't take long, probably half an hour at most, and then there and back to the temple and stuff. You'd probably saying you're roughly estimating that you was at least an hour or more out of it in that ritual.
Okay.
But it went past fairly quick.
I mean, I don't mind going now, but I just feel a little bit drained from that ritual and a bit uneasy. But I will follow everyone else.
And go to the house if you can. Why not?
Yeah. It's
Yes,
still,
we go and speak to Balsar then, shall we?
Yep.
Okay, so you go and find Balasar, who has kind of made his way back down towards the kind of dock side, essentially. Seems to be going back towards the garrison. You kind of come out of the temple. You kind of ask, you see some town guards, you essentially ask, and they point you back that he's gone back to the garrison. You make your way to the garrison, and essentially Balasar seems to be having some sort of lunch. Sitting outside with like some bread and cheese and just. He sees you coming.
Okay.
He's like, hello, again.
Hello. Again.
We've seen each other a lot.
Yes. Well, Levi's in. What was that?
Fine.
Levi's saying about a missing family.
In the other,
Yes.
And I was wondering if we could get into the house, please.
Yes. Okay. Where's it lunchtime? Puts down.
No
He
rush.
goes,
Finish your lunch.
No rush. Yeah, finish your lunch.
Nah, business has got to be done. And he puts it down and he walks inside. He says, "Wait here for me a minute." Just a few minutes later, you can hear him kind of in the distance, kind of not necessarily shouting some orders, but talking loudly. And he arrives kind of about 5 minutes or so later. He kind of comes out, and as he comes out, he goes, I've got 5 of my guards. I'm going to send them on with you. They can essentially patrol the perimeter, stand ready, but also can just help make sure that no trouble is going to go down as such. They're a face of the town, so you should be safe enough if you do find people there.
Okay, thank you.
They're ready to go now if you need to go.
Yep.
So yeah, essentially 5 of the guards, same kind of Scamo armor. The kind of lead one who essentially comes out is the big one who went with you with the big maul.
Oh, okay.
He essentially comes out as well. All right, let's go.
Okay.
Okay, so you essentially, the details of the house were specific enough for you, Belgarian, that they gave to you. And you're talking to the big mall kind of guy as you're walking along, and he's like, "Yes, I know the one. I know the one."
Cool.
So they take you over, kind of past where you kind of walk into the main kind of area of the courtyard. You're essentially kind of walking off. There is like it's essentially, what is it? So you've kind of got the courtyard with the different buildings around it. On one side, you've got the Wyvern Inn that stands proud on pretty much this front side of the dock side is to the south, and over on the east side, you've essentially got 2 larger buildings kind of next to each other, and then there's essentially 2 walkways that go off. Kind of the road continues off in 2 directions. You essentially follow the one off that kind of carries a lot parallel with the dock, as it were. So the right-hand side of these buildings, and as you kind of go along, it takes probably about 10 minutes of going along, and as you go along, these buildings, again, similar from the main path where they had the stone buildings with the wooden top. But after a few minutes, you start to see they turn into full kind of wooden houses, and then they start to turn into kind of smaller houses, and then all get a bit kind of different shapes, different sizes, different builds. The build quality definitely goes down. And as you start to come out into this kind of area that almost looks similar in the sense of the town itself, the woods that are used and stuff, but definitely you've left all the craftsmanship and everything else back where you came from. The wood structures are more functional than anything else. And you essentially walk down, you make your way to where this house is, and as you do, you pass the school. You see the school. The school is kind of like a single long kind of building, essentially. A long kind of building with a kind of grounds and a small kind of gate, essentially, and a fence all the way around it. And as you kind of pass that, you carry on past, and the house is only kind of like about 2 minutes away from the school itself. The house itself sits next to a couple of other houses. This is essentially, when you get down here, you've got more kind of dirt roads, and this is kind of like a bit of an island, essentially, where roads lead off either side of it. And you're assuming about 5 or 6 houses is bumped on this little island. And the one in particular that you're pointing or figuring out is essentially like a single-story house that has a bit of a kind of wooden kind of shingled roof. But it's a little bit tatty. Looks like it could definitely do with some repair. Definitely worn. The front of the house is just a simple wooden house. There's no kind of veranda or anything else. Kind of simple door, windows, like 2 windows, one either side. And no kind of vehicle. It kind of roughly kind of almost comes out onto the road itself. It doesn't seem like there's no land there for them to have in that sort of sense. And as you kind of get up to the house itself, there's no sign of no windows are open, doors closed, that kind of thing. So what do you want to do? You've kind of in front of the house as a group.
Well, we got permission to be here. Might as well just go in.
Yeah.
I'm gonna look around the perimeter of the house.
Okay, so the perimeter goes around the houses. You've got to go around the other houses. It's they're pretty much adjoined.
Right.
The houses themselves.
Terraced.
Kind of, but it goes round. Terraced, but around. So you essentially, Quinn, are going to kind of walk around the other houses, or walk around the perimeter.
I'm going to go and walk around, have a look near the school.
Okay. And Leonidas and Fenton, what are you two doing?
The orphanage is also, there might be someone missing from there as well.
So we're at the family's house, yeah, just outside.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm before I go in, I'm gonna. Well, Quinn's gone off, hasn't she? So,
Yeah.
I'm going to richly cast detect magic.
Okay.
I just open the door and walk in.
I did say that. I'm in there already.
Sammy's already. You go to walk up, and Sammy's just immediately pushing the door open.
Already
The
walked
door's
in.
not locked.
Oh, my apologies. I'll follow them in then.
The door is not locked. You open it, and it's just like it swings open. And as you do, you walk in. It's fairly a humble home. You walk into what is like a front kind of area that seems to have like a table and some chairs. There's a fireplace over on one side, and then an almost arch that kind of goes out to a back area. The place itself doesn't look like particularly messy or anything like that. There's no sign of anything been knocked over. The chairs are as they were, all that kind of stuff. Everything looks like as if someone's just left for the day for work and then not come back almost. There's no obvious mess, jumble or anything like that. The archway that leads through, as you walk through into that, 2 doors, one kind of straight ahead and one just to your right hand side. The one you kind of open the one to your right hand side, and as you do, it's effectively like a small kitchen. Again, another little kind of fireplace with a cooking pot hanging in it. The chimney that seems to go up, seems to meet almost with the one in the other room, as if they kind of go up together and meet as one. And then the other door that's just slightly next to this one, you essentially open it up, and as you do, it's essentially like a big, large family bedroom. Has like a double bed at this side, and then essentially like a small 2 kind of wooden partition bits, and then a large kind of open door that walks in. And as you walk into this, is 2 more kind of small beds. The beds are small, which you assume are for the children. And kind of looking around the place, as I said, there's no unkeptness about it. It just seems as if someone has left it and gone, but there is no obvious reasons that stand out to you at the moment.
Okay. Start having, like, if there are any drawers or
there's
desks,
things like cupboards and different things like that.
right, start looking through
Start
them, I
having a
suppose.
very good little investigation.
I
Yep.
don't bother with any of that because I can't see shit. So I'm just on the lookout in case I don't know, a monster
Trouble.
comes out of the wardrobe or something.
I'm
just I'm looking out for miscreants.
Yeah. Okay.
And I'm
like
going to make my
devil
way back.
rats.
I'm going to make my way back to the house.
Okay. Sure.
Yeah, so I'm not
like-
touching anything.
Okay, Leonidas, what are you doing this time? So you're looking around. You got to detect magic up. Are you gonna?
So 10 minutes is gone. Yeah, I just have. I'll have a look around the house, helping out. Obviously,
Peruse over it to see if you see anything.
but just having that detect magic up whilst I'm doing it.
Yeah.
In case anything pings.
Okay.
Or
Can I
help
get
me spot something.
investigation check from everyone who wants to roll? It's a group check.
Do I roll as well, even though I'm not
You
checking?
You can choose whether you want to make it worse or not.
No, I
Oh,
won't.
Is it a 20 die?
Not bad.
Yeah, 20 plus your investigation.
My investigation. Right, what's my investigation? Let's go and have a look.
I'll do guidance on this, can I?
So mine's plus.
No, probably going to take too long.
Nah, it's just,
You're
yeah,
kind of
exactly.
brute
Yeah,
around.
it's too much.
I
I
mean,
want
I'm
to
not
have a good
inside,
proper look.
So do I do this still?
You don't have to roll.
23 I rolled altogether.
Actually, Adam, you roll. I'm going to take you one individually.
Okay, mine's 14.
Okay. What was that, Candy? What was yours?
23 altogether.
What are we rolling for?
Investigation.
Investigation, mate.
All right, 1 minute. Let me just.
I rolled a 16 and my investigation is plus 7.
Cool.
Jeez.
Yes, massive.
Wow.
No advantage or anything?
No.
All right, it's worth a try.
Would Leo detect magic
It's
ping
not bad.
my
16,
dagger by any
20,
chance?
23.
You've probably got it away, so probably not.
No.
Yeah, and I'm not particularly looking at that anyway. If you're going to ping anyway, so
It would only ping if you was holding it, probably.
Okay.
But you've got it away. You haven't got it out.
I got 8, Brad, for my investigation.
Okay, what did you get, David? What was yours?
David got 20.
Oh yeah, okay. So effectively, as you all start looking around, you're all kind of looking for any signs of what's been going on, anything like that. You open essentially what is like some cupboards, and there are clothes in it. There doesn't seem like clothes have been taken out and gone missing, like anyone's kind of upped and left, as it were. As you go into the kitchen, there's essentially some food that seems to have seen better days, but it's not quite mouldy yet. The fires definitely haven't been lit for a while. They're definitely not hot. There's ashes in them. Definitely no sign that anyone's been there kind of for a while. The beds themselves are made essentially, so they're not. They look like the house looks like as if you've essentially walked into it, looked around, and it's like someone's just gone out and not come back. There's no obvious.
So they wasn't preparing to go on a trip or anything like that.
No, that's what I mean. You're getting the sense that this isn't something where someone's gone, oh, we've got to go away and journey here. It looks like everything is there that would be there in its day-to-day kind of position.
No signs of intrusion or struggle.
No,
or
the
anything.
door itself, even though it was unlocked, does have a lock on it, but it doesn't look like it's tampered with in any way. It looks fine. It doesn't look awfully strong as a door and a lock, but it's definitely there's no markings on it, nothing like that. It doesn't look like anything's happened to it.
And there's nothing above us or anything like that, Brad. Like
No, you look up, you can
or...
see the underside of the beams of the roof, so there is no extra floor or anything like that.
Mm.
What about any trapdoors?
Basements or anything? Yeah.
No, fairly good search. Nothing like trapdoors or anything like that. Nothing around. The place itself, as I said, seems fairly normal more than anything. That's the oddity, is that you're expecting
Too normal.
Yeah, you're expecting to find something like some sort of fight happen, something's missing, something like this. But as you look around, it literally looks like you've walked in and these people have gone out to work almost, or something like that. It just looks too normal in that sense that nothing seems different than what you'd expect to find here.
I'll go and ask one of the guards outside, the main one. Like, do you know anything of these people at all that used to live here?
They were a fairly quiet family. Human family, didn't get into any trouble. We don't generally know much about them in the sense that they've not really. We only really know about the troublemakers. We know Fenton.
Not pointing to anyone though.
I heard that.
Do you disagree, Fenton?
No.
So obviously they've got neighbours and stuff. I go and knock on one of the neighbours' doors.
Okay. In between this, Sammy, can I get a perception check from you?
perception check. You're having a laugh. Hang on.
So basically, they kept themselves.
Yeah, fairly quiet family. It doesn't seem that they had too much going on.
There's David's one.
There you go. Don't ask me to notice anything if I'm not actively looking for it.
That's the problem. My investigation ain't great, but my perception's better. Only
I
slightly
may
better.
use that if necessary, though. And sometimes I pick the one that I want it to be, whether I want it to be bad.
So, no, I don't notice anything, mate, to be fair. It all looks absolutely fine to me.
Okay.
On the
I must have got the Detect Magic up, but I just go around the house as well. Just
Yeah, your Detect Magic picks up nothing. Nothing's
Yeah.
glowing anywhere. Everything feels very mundane. You feel like you've done a good enough job at kind of really looking. Every time they open a cupboard and look at clothes and stuff like that, you kind of peer in. You're kind of taking a minute here, taking a minute there. Nothing at all shows up as magical when you're around this place.
outside, is any sort of like basement entrance?
No. The house
No,
just literally
probably
kind
house
of
that.
just simple wood. There's not even any stone. The flooring in here is kind of like a hard compacted dirt. It's not even.
Okay, bloody hell.
It's
Proper
not even
flooring.
in terms of like, because you were thinking about trapdoors, and as you're looking around, it doesn't even look like the kind of flooring underneath is capable to hold a basement very well. Quinn, so you're kind of walking around the edge. You notice the houses around. They're all very similar around this kind of whole block. They're all similar in design and shape as to what that one is. None of them stand out in any particular reason. They're slightly different in some places. Slightly individual, but not by much. Is there anything particular that you wanted to find out?
I want to see if there's anything like out of place or any like trapdoors or loose like boards or anything. And maybe,
Around, as you go round, you can see that all these houses are linked in a circle.
if there's
you
anyone
kind of-
like, watching the property.
No, looking around, you don't see anyone kind of watching the property. What you do notice is as you kind of walk around, one or two of the other houses seem to have a fire going. Again, nothing seems out of place. Everything seems fairly normal. Nothing is obviously nothing's triggering anything kind of going, hold on, there's something wrong here. It just, in terms of you walking around the outside, you're just looking at these other buildings going, normal. Nothing here. But for that matter, you definitely, as I said, inside the house, you guys definitely are seeing stuff that tells you that someone hasn't been here for a while.
Do we see any like tracks outside going away from the house specifically?
Not necessarily in the sense that Belgarian already told you that this is probably about a 2-week time, and the road itself, the house kind of comes out onto it, and it's a kind of muddy road, but not like wet mud. Effectively, if there was any markings, they would be quickly removed by traffic.
I would like to ask the guard a question if they knew what the adults did for a living.
I think the father used to go out and help out on one of the farms outside of town. The female used to just be the homemaker, and the children used to attend school, as far as I'm aware.
And do they know that if anybody had a grudge against them, or did they owe money or anything like that?
I don't know of anything specific about that. They didn't seem like the family. They didn't seem like they. How do you know if someone owes money as such? But I doubt it. There's only so much they could even want, really. Live a simple life.
It just seems a bit odd that a simple family have just disappeared without taking any personal belongings with them.
It certainly does. It certainly does, but it's not something we often see. But I can see what you're saying. I can see that definitely no one's here. No one's been here, but no, I've got no extra details for you.
Okay, thank you.
Anyone else?
Yeah, I was knocking on a neighbour's door.
Oh yeah. So you knock, and kind of to the right, you're knocking on that house, and a very elderly, kind of grey hair, old human kind of lady opens the door and goes, "Hello."
Hello. I've been asked to investigate your neighbour. Did you know them at all?
Not very well. They were very quiet. I haven't seen them for a while. I reported that to the guards. They kept themselves to themselves. I didn't really speak to them much.
Okay. Do you know if anyone ever used to visit them?
I don't recall, no. But then I don't really spend much time outside.
Okay. What are the other neighbours like?
The ones to the left, you knock, you get no answer. There is kind of a couple of houses across the street. Effectively, you go round knocking at the other houses, and most people give you a similar kind of sense of what's going on in that regard. They kind of tell you that the family's fairly quiet. They don't seem to have very many visitors. The father seems to disappear in the morning to go to work, and then come home kind of sunset-ish, kind of late. Seems kind of haggard from his day of work. The mother seems to take the children to school, but they don't stand out in any sense. They're very, very almost meek kind of individuals. They don't really. Everyone's kind of telling you they don't seem to have visitors. They don't seem to stand out for any reason. They're easily forgotten.
Sorry, was it father, mother, and two boys, or two?
Yes,
two boys. Yeah. And it was other people had gone from the orphanage as well. Is that right?
Well, there's a whisper that someone's gone missing from the orphanage.
Right, okay. But it was a mother, father, and two boys gone missing. When was the last time they were seen, Bill Guerin?
About 2 weeks ago. Is that right, Brett?
Yeah, about 2 weeks ago. Anyone recalls.
So, would you reckon go and ask at the farm that he works at?
Is it not worth checking at the orphanage for the possible missing children?
Or maybe even the school? Ask the school. Maybe,
I went round
the
the perimeter of the school, and I didn't see anything that stands out. I couldn't actually get in because the gate is closed.
Where's Quinn? And
Quinn's making all the way around and come back by now.
Where's Leo?
I'm in
the house with us.
In the house, peering very intently at things.
Should we go and ask the orphanage first?
Yeah, I like the orphanage idea.
Try to find out if it was a school day.
Yes. What was it? A school day that they went missing?
We have no idea. We don't know what day in particular they went. No one kept an eye on them enough.
It would have been a school day because it was the teachers. Well, it could have been. Yeah,
maybe.
It might have been a couple of days before the teacher.
What day that they realised they weren't there? Yeah. Might be worth doing.
Again, about 2 weeks ago, we don't have a specific day. People, some of the neighbours would have sent in reports with the guards. The guards would have reported it back to the garrison. We had reports of about 2 weeks ago, a family wasn't seen. Guards have been kind of looking around town to see if anything ill was at work, but nothing else.
It could be longer than 2 weeks. It could be about 3 weeks if it takes about a week for the teachers to notice.
Yeah, it could be. Well, the teachers probably would notice about that 2 weeks. The reports that I know we got probably came from the school of the two children missing. That was probably where the flag is raised.
Mm-hmm.
So about 2 weeks ago would be the report from the school itself telling us that the children haven't been.
So we need to find out from the teachers how long they left.
From the farm when the last time he went in for work, I suppose.
And how long they left it before they decided to say something about the children not showing up.
So where do we want to go first then?
Well, we've got a few leads, haven't we? We've got the school. We've got the orphanage.
At the moment, Brad?
No, not at the moment.
And the farm.
I asked the guard where the teacher that reported it.
The teacher lived just next door. There's a house just next door to the school.
Okay. I'll go and knock there.
Yeah.
Okay. Do the rest of you follow?
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay. So the guard, he knocks on the door. And a kind of mid-20s kind of young human female kind of opens the door, kind of dark, kind of long brown hair, and essentially says, "Hello, what can I assist you with?" And the guard is essentially, we've had reports, which seems to have come from you, from my knowledge, regarding the family that went missing, the children. She's like, "Oh yes. About 2 weeks ago, I put in a report because the children just didn't show. They're normally very good at showing for school. They were there all the time. Generally, didn't get ill very often, but they were generally there. And then all of a sudden, just gone. They didn't turn. I haven't seen them since."
And how many days before you reported them not showing? Did they not attend school?
Probably only about 2 days, because again, they don't really get that ill. I've not had much reports of them where they don't attend. They're not very far down the street. So about 2 days. So again, about a 2 weeks mark ago was when I kind of reported it, and a day or two before that was when the children stopped coming.
Did they get good grades in school?
Yeah, they were good children. 2 boys. No particular trouble. Fairly quiet. Used to sit at their desks, like to do drawing and stuff like that. Generally didn't get in trouble. Generally excited to be in school. No trouble with them children.
Did they seem any different the last time you did see them?
No.
Were they?
No, it was a normal day. The last time I remember seeing them, it was them pretty much themselves.
Long shot. But when you was bringing the kids in for their school day, do you ever notice anyone keeping an eye out or keeping an eye on the
Their mother
school?
normally comes to pick them up, so I didn't look and see anything. I haven't really seen anything suspicious. There's been no random people around and stuff like that. We generally don't get many random people down this side of town. Generally don't come this way.
Would it be possible to see a couple of their pictures you said that they drew? Because I know sometimes children keep things in, but they express feelings in other ways.
Yeah, sure. Come through to me with the school. So she'd essentially take some keys off behind the door, walks over to...
It's a picture of their kidnapper.
Hey, you never
it's
know.
Mummy and Daddy and my brother, and there's a man that's been watching our house.
If they draw a picture of a giant rat or a rat person.
No.
You're doing good.
Candy, you're doing fantastic. You carry on.
Yeah. It was just an opportunity.
So she takes you in and she just starts showing you the pictures, and these pictures don't stand out. There's nothing obvious. They're like little stick drawings of family and people playing in a school, that sort of stuff. Nothing is obviously standing out.
How old were the children?
I think one of them was 10 and one of them was about 7.
Okay.
Well, thank you very much for your time and for helping us. Have you heard about anything about the orphanage? That the whispers of a child going missing from the orphanage?
I haven't myself, no.
Do you not look after any of the kids from the orphanage?
No, they have their own kind of in-house. The lady who kind of runs the orphanage, she's often teaching them rather than sending them down there. It's only once they get older that they start to come to the school.
Okay, thank you for your time.
Well, as I said, I hope you find them safe.
Yep. Thank you very much. If we need any more assistance, I will come back.
Okay.
There's like a Because I'm thinking of like schooling being like obviously like we are at the moment, 5 days a week and then weekend. Is that very similar or not?
It's more of a relaxed affair in the sense that there's no specific need to have to go. It's more of a children can go and learn sort of a thing. There's the town essentially helps pay some money for the school to kind of exist so that children can learn and be educated, kind of thing. Become a Fenton.
Well, I think
I heard that.
I think the next thing we should do is go to the orphanage, because we need to find out whether it is an actual child gone missing out of mysterious circumstances and not a runaway.
Because our kid had been taken out of the orphanage as well.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, all right, we'll go to the orphanage next break.
Okay, so you go over to the orphanage, and the orphanage is essentially a slightly larger building, kind of two-story high kind of building, lots of windows on the front. Essentially, you go and knock on the door. The large kind of guy, the guard, is kind of standing right with you. An older lady, probably about her 40s, kind of opens the door and says,
Wait, that's not old.
Older.
That's better.
She essentially opens the door, kind of curly-haired lady, glasses. She's like, "How can I help you? What's going on?"
We're just inquiring that we heard a whisper that there might have been a young person taken from your orphanage.
Oh, do come in. She ushers you kind of all in, including the guards and everything. You essentially go in, and what is like a large kind of living area or such, many seats, that sort of stuff. She says, yeah, come in. And obviously you 6 and the 5 guards all shuffle into the house. The guards stay outside, actually. And she's like, yes, it's not something obviously that I want loads of people to hear, that we have children going missing. It's not very good for the name of the orphanage, really, is it? But yeah, we had a young girl named Gwen. She went out, I think, to pick flowers. She used to really like flowers, and it was about a month ago now.
How old was she, sorry?
A month ago, wow.
How old was Gwen, sorry?
She was only about 12. She went out to pick flowers one day. Normally, we don't keep an eye on them once they're out and about. Children are generally safe in the town. And she went out to kind of go and pick flowers. She told me she was going out to pick flowers, and she just never came back. And I haven't seen her since.
And you said that was about a month ago.
It was about a month ago. I let the guards know.
Slide check.
Got him.
So that's 21.
Okay. She seems generally upset. As soon as you said it, you get a kind of sense from her that she's definitely upset. She seems a bit worried that to let it known that children have gone missing from the orphanage. But at the same time, seems very generally upset by it, and seems pleased that you seem to be inquiring about it.
Okay. So you're saying about a month ago?
About a month ago, yes. Yeah, I told the guards. They came around and spoke to me about it, and I kind of said that she's gone missing, but that was probably at least 2-3 weeks ago now, and we haven't seen her since. She hasn't come back. No one's seen her around. The guards have been keeping an eye out, but no one's seen her come back in. And the big guy turns around and goes, "Yeah, we've been keeping an eye on the gatehouse. No sign of a little girl coming in on her own."
Why would you say she's gone missing rather than run away?
Because she seems happy.
Yeah, she didn't seem to be upset at us or anything. She was happy enough. She wasn't pleased that she was an orphan. She had difficulties to overcome, as most of the orphans do, but she wasn't particularly upset on them days that she went missing. She wasn't. She didn't seem angry at things.
Sorry to be brazen. We just have to make sure that
that's fine.
We are following all the leads that we can get.
I hope you can find her and bring her back. She's She was generally a pleasure to have around. She didn't give me any troubles.
Did she say that on any of her times picking flowers that she met someone, was talking to someone, making a new friend?
No, normally she doesn't normally go that far. She normally travels only around these kind of couple of blocks, and the flowers she normally goes to pick are the kind of ones that grow beside the roadside sort of thing. She doesn't really go outside, so that's why when I said to the guards and they were looking and there was nothing, it was very odd because I haven't known her to go much further than these kind of couple of blocks around here.
But would if she met someone and they said, "Oh, would you like to see where some special flowers grow?" Would she go?
She was fairly sensible. She would. I feel she would go in. She was quiet, but she could be feisty if she wanted to be. She wouldn't. She was sensible enough. She wouldn't just follow random strangers.
And is she the only child?
She was the only child. Her parents died in a fire about 5 years ago.
Okay.
Was she close with any of the other children?
Not really. Quiet. She used to kind of do her own little thing. She used to like go and pick flowers. She used to come back, put them in books, do some drawings and stuff. She used to do some writing, but nothing kind of out of the ordinary. She got on well with other children, but she didn't kind of really have particular friends and that.
Could we have a look at her belongings?
Yeah. She essentially takes you through to what is essentially like a kind of leads upstairs into what is essentially a large open kind of bunk area, effectively. And there are kind of one or two children now you see around. And she kind of takes you to what is like a big box thing at the end of a bed, and she goes through it, and there's some drawings in there. There's kind of random notes that kind of talk about whereby she's just kind of writing down notes of things like things she's kind of done and enjoyed, and notes on her parents and stuff like that in remembrance.
Diary?
Not necessarily a diary, just kind of random notes and stuff, random kind of writings and stuff, things she may have seen and heard and stuff like that. Lots of kind of notes, but as you read through it, there's nothing that kind of stands out in any sense.
Can you remember what she was wearing when she disappeared?
She used to wear generally kind of like a white kind of gown sort of thing, kind of light coloured. I think it came from her mother, maybe.
And what colour was her hair?
She was very lightly coloured hair.
Have you noticed anyone hanging around or taking an interest in your orphanage that normally wouldn't take an interest in it?
No, everything's been as usual. We've had no random guests or anything like that. We don't get many guests. The orphans themselves have generally lost their parents. If there is a family member involved, then they generally take the child, and we no longer have them here. Yeah, there's been nothing that really stands out that says anyone odd is about or anything like that. People don't generally get upset at the orphanage and stuff like that. We keep to ourselves. We raise the children well.
Did she show any signs of no magic?
No, not that I can recall.
Looking at obviously looking at the books and stuff, the flowers. Looking at the flowers, is there any of the flowers that are further away than what should sort of like pick, if you know what I mean, from certain areas?
Yeah, you kind of get the impression that yes, there probably is.
That's very
Some
clever.
of the flowers you see seem like they wouldn't be grown by the roadside and would be more out in some sort of open field, meadowy type thing. Some of the flowers don't seem quite like they're from just local.
Okay.
Can I search the bunk to see if there's anything like she's hidden? Maybe
Yeah, go on in. Roll for me. Investigation.
that would be 9.
No.
The bed.
The bed itself is fairly basic. You kind of lift up a kind of hay-filled mattress sort of thing. Look under the bed. Everything's fairly tidy. doesn't look particularly messy or anything like that. Nothing is there that you can see.
Did she have a close friend here who she would confide in if she needed to
No,
talk about
You know,
anything?
she said she
she
did.
kept herself to herself.
Yeah.
So basically, it seems like people who don't have anyone or have any or anyone to look out for them.
Yeah.
That would be most of the people in this orphanage, though, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
So, Quinn,
Many of them, yeah.
see if we can keep hold of the book for now, and then also just let's have a look at the locations where she picked flowers.
Yeah, that's what I was going to. That's what,
Mhm.
next thing.
Yeah, may we keep this book for our investigation?
Yeah, if it could possibly be returned, if
Oh
you
yeah,
can.
return it definitely.
Okay, yeah, no problem.
Well, thank you for your help.
Was any of these was any of the flowers that were picked by the farm that
Yeah, I was just about to say that.
the dad worked at of the other family?
You're not sure totally in terms of the
Not sure
flowers.
totally.
Whether they'll be there.
I think we'd have to look at the flowers and
Yeah.
then look when we get to the farm for that.
Right, well, I think that's probably our next point.
And where did the mum work? If she worked,
She was just a
She
house.
was a
She was a
housemaker.
house
she was just okay.
housebound.
So is your thought process the dad kidnapped the kid from the orphanage and then all of them went off and got kidnapped?
No, maybe there's something in the area that the kid has seen, and maybe the father has seen. Possibly.
I think probably the farm next.
Yeah,
Let's follow the
I think
book.
so.
Quinn, let's follow the book.
Should we
Is there anything to colour in?
should we go and should we go back to the inn, maybe get some refreshments and then look through the book and
Colour in.
We can look through the book and do some colouring in whilst we're walking towards the farm, can't we?
Yeah.
Yes.
Maybe not the colouring in. Sorry, Fennon.
It's not your book to colour in, mate. I'm afraid.
we can do I'm
done
sure I
that for
can
ages.
I'm sure I can draw you some dot to dots if you want to.
Excellent. Okay.
Okay, so you make your way out to the farm.
Yeah.
Okay, so the farm where the father would have worked, you essentially kind of ask around, get a location of the farm. The farm's probably only about a mile off, kind of northeast kind of direction, slightly kind of out in kind of open fields as such. There are a couple of different farms dotted around the outside.
Keep an eye on the flowers. Sounds funny, but keep an eye on the flowers.
Yeah, I was going to say the same thing.
Yeah.
Immediately you notice as you kind of get outside the walls and you start traveling out to the farm, you do pick up on there are some flowers like you was thinking that are not probably inside the city walls and are out here.
With all the reading I've done, would I recognise any of the flowers? Would any of them be like poisonous or dangerous?
Fairly common flowers, sort of thing. They're normally like they're not particularly dangerous flowers or anything like that. They're fairly common in the sense they generally, like some of them are like weeds that essentially just grow in many places. Some of them.
Would I recognise, say, that some are only grow near water, or some only grow on moss?
So most of them are fairly common types of plants that grow in many places.
Yeah.
So, is there no rare flower or foil flower?
No, nothing in there that stands out. They're fairly common. Most of you can recognise what they are.
Right.
Generally, as I said, more weed type things that grow in lots of places.
Mm-hmm. So a bit like daisy to make daisy chains and stuff like that.
Stuff, kind of dandelions, that sort of stuff. But I think what we're going to do is we're going to call it there, guys, because otherwise it's going to get too late.
Yep.
The DM of my Sunday game is recently nerf flanking as well.
Say that again.
My DM in my Sunday game is recently nerf flanking to a similar rule.
I see, and people, Stuart was kind of humming me.
It fucks over rogues completely.
It doesn't.
It
does.
Why does it? You still get an advantage.
With attacking within 5 feet. Okay.
In that
All right.
instance,
No. My point is mute. Is invalid, rather.
In that instance, it would still count for the rogue sneak attack, as it were. I would just
No, it's fine. I was wrong anyway, because it's it doesn't you get it if you've got advantage, but also which would help if you were flanking. But if you're in combat, then someone else is within 5 feet of you, because otherwise they won't be able to do the flanking. So therefore, you'd get it anyway. So my
technically,
point
I still
is,
changed the rule so it said that though, Stuart. So that if you got flanking rather than advantage, so I would say if you got flanking or advantage as a rogue, just so it cleared that up for the random 1 or 2.
All right, no, okay, that's good.
That's what I would say there, because you are kind of right, but kind of right,
but I was wrong. but I appreciate the fact that if there was a rogue involved and that was thingy, then you'd give it anyway.
You're probably right in them unique instances that would mess up in.
I just got a lot of love for rogues now. That's
fighting for the rogues, even though you're not playing.
Yeah, I'm not playing a rogue. It's like my rogue playing days are coming to an end as well, I think. But I still champion them. It's like, yeah, but they're fucks over rogues. Mate, you haven't played a rogue for 18 years. Just let it go. Let it go. Yeah, but rogues. Oh, hold on. Mate, don't worry. I'm looking at the wrong Fenton.
No, that's fine. That's good. At least we got that determined now before it counted for something more in the future.
I'm actually really confuddled.
Yeah, don't worry. Don't worry, Cam.
So the other thing to point out, which kind of counts for all of you, but I would notify it on Stuart's one here. So essentially, if you have,
I still can't see it.
You still can't see it.
Nope.
You're definitely on the right Fenton. How many
I'm on the right. I've got 3 Fentons.
Oh God!
I thought he was going to say 2.
Well, I was debating on what to do, so I've got my normal Fenton and I've got level 3 Fenton twice. Secret lovers, that's what they are. I couldn't remember the rest of it. Shamefully, couldn't remember the rest of the song. It's an awesome song.
Yeah. It's happening though.
With that, 1 minute.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure you know. Is that what you're singing? No.
That's probably too old for you, Adam. It's Tony's art gallery when they used to go through the art. Not Art Attack, with the one with Morph in it.
What have I come back to?
Yeah, that is Art Attack.
Yeah. No. Not the him. Before him with Tony Hart.
He's too young for Tony Hart.
That's what I said to him. I was singing the theme tune for the gallery.
What was the theme tune for the gallery?
I've heard that
That is actually another song. I don't think it is specifically.
No, it's a theme tune for the gallery. I'm sure of it.
It's a theme tune, but I think it's actually got a proper name. It's a proper
You're
song.
about to break out into the Airwolf theme tune.
No, I can't remember what that is, but yeah, that's it. Yeah, that's Airwolf. Yeah.
Where has this conversation gone all of a sudden?
We were filling the void.
What happens when you leave us alone?
As we come back in, we've got Airwolf and Art Attack going on, or whatever it was. Heartbeat.
God.
Heartbeat.
Heartbeat.
Fuck off.
The hell, I haven't heard that for ages.
Attack.
Heartbeat.
Something altogether different.
Yeah. Heartbeat, Art Attack, and fucking Airwolf.
Anytime you
Heartbeat
can actually
attack
say
Airwolf.
heartbeat and you know the actual lyrics, but right
No,
away.
I didn't know Heartbeat. I couldn't
There are
think
no
of it.
lyrics to it.
I can't think of what the Heartbeat's theme tune is.
There are no lyrics.
I can see the characters and stuff, and the bloke from EastEnders that become the copper there, but I can't think of what the theme tune was.
Oh, let's not. Anyway, back to
Yeah.
Anyway,
Don't forget
So-
your
Your
Your camera's
videos
not on,
are
Fred.
Oh, of course, yeah. I'll just flip it. Thank you, Michael.
I'm fine.
Chris and Adam
Yeah, I'm fine.
and David.
yeah,
Fine.
I'm good. I'm good. I'm fine.
There we go.
Yeah, that
So-
does seem like a level 3 moment to me. Yeah.
Definitely, yeah.
No digging
Ba,
up
ba,
the
ba,
book.
ba,
Save some
ba, ba, ba,
I'm sorry to say that the Book of Plants has not revealed the new information.
Come on.
I'm sure she put like a little thing where it said level 3.
Christmas.
Like experience, like a bottle of experience.
Yeah.
Go, 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 go.
Maybe it's just as you get to the farm, there's a chest that you open. Da, 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 da. No, it's not.
Can we roll hit points?
Just
No.
I think it's just evil, guys. I really do.
Yeah, I thought it was going to be a Christmas present.
Roll hit points.
No,
Cool,
I'm
that was a good session. That was.
sorry to disappoint.
You're not really.
Are we planning on next Monday, guys?
Probably not next Monday because I go on the Tuesday back to London. So
There
Oh,
you
yeah.
go. See, this was Christmas. Last game of Christmas. Christmas is Christmas.
Christmas
Come on,
snacks.
just say it. Go on, you fuckers. You're level 3. Merry Christmas, you bastards.
Man's got his point.
Welcome to
So-
level 3.
if I did that, I would have to do that every year, which means you'd only level yearly.